X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time.
Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? You feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep vaping with my mill, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled mind. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You'll see now, watch me right now, punch your face now. Show you how.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello. Geez, my white balancing got way brighter since I last had my camera on screen. Dang. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all. Hey there, Ride the Rails. What's up? Summerstar, good to see ya. Wingo, welcome back. Good to see you. Trans Daughter of Water, what's up? How are you? Perry Icefire, glad to have you here. Welcome. Kirkney, welcome. Hello. Alex Wooten, good to see ya. Bazooka Horse, what's going on? How are ya? War Penguin, good to see you again. How are you doing? Evil Rhoda, what's up? What the Sigma? Hey there, Nate Crown King. Good to see you in chat. So Xanderhall, from episode 3. Yeah, from episode 3, indeed. I had a revelation while watching it, and I wrote up, I shit you not, like an 8-paragraph essay theory on the From subreddit. And it actually got a lot of attention, and a lot of people asking for the link to my Discord so they can join the From watch parties, because they're interested in the big group, like, watching and theorizing. I had to drop the link on that post, because it was getting a lot of requests. It'd be cool to have more people who are, like, dedicated From fans join that. Maybe more, people there to help theorize and stuff. Literally 5 more days until my Beyblade tournament. I'm so excited. I'm going to train like crazy, and I finally have Elevate for my Cobalt Dragoon. Best bit for Dragoon. Interesting. I hope you end up having fun with that, TSW Shadow Wolf. r/from series, I believe it's on Ride the Rails. That explains the sudden influx of Discord members. Was there an influx? I didn't realize that. Thought it had something to do with the drama in the server last night. Phew. I didn't know there was really much of a drama in the server, but I don't know how that would bring people to the server. Raid? Oh. Well, maybe the server did get raided. I didn't post the link last night. So that was definitely a separate thing. That makes sense, though. Oh, who raided? I don't know, but I wouldn't give them the attention of it anyway. Bit being the part that determines how the Beyblade moves along the stadium floor, Xanderhall. The part that, yeah, the little tiny nubbin. I had a debate on whether Hurricane Milton was caused by climate change or not in a Beyblade Discord for some reason. Yeah. There are still climate change deniers out there somehow in the year 2024 of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Real. Okay, this meme. This is why we like the From subreddit. Look at this. This is so real. Chat, is this real? It's real. God damn, it's getting sunnier. My white balancing keeps making me brighter. I'm becoming Xandalf the White. Every, like, passing moment. There we go. Mute alerts. I don't want to mute alerts. Show stream status. Pause alerts? Are my alerts paused? Skip alert. Huh. Weird. There are weirdos out there that do believe that the Democrats control the weather? Yeah. Actually, I can think of one of those weirdos off the top of my head. She's elected to Congress. Her name is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Representative from Georgia. Or I think she's in the... No, yeah, she's in Congress. There are weirdos out there that do believe that the Democrat... Yeah. Wait, why did I reread that message? I don't know why, but the beginning of it read as a different message. Like you were... like someone else posted something about a different group of weirdos. I found your Reddit post. Do you mind if I post it in chat for people? Yes. Go ahead and post it, but do not click that link if you have not seen up to episode 3 of From Season 3, or you'll get spoiled. I do plan to read it out loud this Friday when we do our next watch party of From. It's going to be a good time. By the way, if you like my content and you're here at the stream so early and you want to support it early on, please consider leaving a like. Every thumbs up, no matter where it comes from, what time, or what it's on, really, from my channel, really does help a lot. It forces YouTube to push my content and the algorithm out to more people, and I've seen in real time as you guys liking the stream or liking my videos has gotten it into like the algorithm again and gotten it more views. So it really, really helps a lot. It's totally free, takes half a second. So if you haven't already, thank you for everybody who does. I appreciate the likes. It means a lot. Thank you. Man, I've got mush mouth today. I hate it. Hey, Zan, in good faith, why is it bad to Fed post? Because you can get arrested. That's why. It's generally bad to Fed post because you can get wherever you post that kind of stuff taken down, and you yourself can get arrested. Do you know what Fed posting is, Spice the Goblin? Fed posting is the idea of, like, posting about how you want to commit violence, right? Which, of course, is not legal. So people will say, oh, you're Fed posting. You're a federal agent in here trying to get people to do the same and entrap them, right? It's basically, like, the reference itself is unimportant. Basically, it just means to post violent shit. It's called Fed posting because the feds are very interested in reading them. Well, the origin comes from the idea that feds were in the chat posting shit that would try and rile up more posts and get, like, the forum taken down or whatever it may be. Jesus Christ, that one, Luna. That's wild. Anyway, allow me to thank PepperT21 for the extremely generous $5 donation. What a great way to start off the stream today. Thank you, thank you. Sent just a YouTube link. Let's check that out really fast. Oh, I love these. Another continuation of the Dap Up tournament. Let's go. Dap Up Tournament of Power.
You can't be in today's tournament, Gohan. Your mom said you need to study for your test tomorrow.
So who's gonna be your partner?
GTA Barber is willing to come out of retirement, so it's best you
I
stay.
don't give a man. I'm sick of you always thinking you know what's best for me, dog. You ain't my father. I'm a grown man.
Gohan the second!
I am making my way to you, dearest mother.
Sorry, you know I get hard, I mean soft, when it comes to your mom.
You're not fooling anyone. That aside, I'll be watching from here. Good luck.
And we're back again at the Dap Up Tournament of Power!
Yes, Steven, we get to see GTA Barber come out of retirement for this match. They'll be going up against new underdogs.
Mordecai and Finn.
Now let's head over to my boy Jeff on the floor. Jeff!
Let's have a look at the teams warming up in the tunnel. The GTA Barber is looking quite relaxed for someone coming out of retirement, but take a look at this fella. He's not joking with those warm-ups, all right.
That's good, my boy. Slime.
I'm really dumbfounded on how he
Slime.
remembers all this handshakes. I don't have much intel on this too, but they do look mischievous.
Wonderful analysis, Jeff. You would have been a superb broadcaster in the 50s.
Given the
I don't know if I would have been allowed to be a broadcaster
I
in the
don't think
50s.
you should joke about that. People
Okay.
may think you're serious.
The first team is making their move. We all know when it comes to this too, we're about to see the no-look approach.
He's brought out his phone and he's heading to the Dap Up distance.
Here it comes!
What's good, my Nick?
A triple explosive dab.
They could only do one before.
These two haven't lost their touch.
I feel like we could have done the quadruple. Maybe it's because of Gohan I'm thinking this way.
Here comes the other team.
They're both walking towards the dap up distance without using any approach.
No look approach? Explosive dap? The only thing that matters is getting the perfect dap sound.
A triple
quadruple.
perfect dab.
That's the cleanest one I've heard in this tournament.
Even though their approach was regular, I can't believe how in sync they both were to give that perfect dap. This would be a tough one.
I'm having a hard time deciding the way. Hello, Steven speaking.
It just destroyed my planet!
They can destroy other planets? Destroying Earth is one thing, but they can go farther?
What are you going to do about this?
I'm here to tell you right now.
We don't care.
I guess this decides the winner, Steven.
This shouldn't be.
Their winning streak comes to an end.
First defeat ever in the tournament, GTA Barber. What exactly do you think went wrong out there?
And we got too comfortable and relaxed with it. They just busted in our mouth. And we just had to eat that up and take it on our chin.
What the fuck? Oh, I love those. Jesus Christ. Could Fire Ferrets win this tournament? Fuck no. Listen, you don't have to be a Legend of Korra hater to know that Korra would absolutely have no dap-up game, okay? Like, she would have a very weak, flimsy, quiet dap. It would be like a wet towel hitting a dry towel. That would be the sound of that dap. There'd be no power behind it. I don't care if she's the Avatar. She just doesn't have it in her, you know? She just doesn't. Someone said earlier, who posted this? I didn't want to miss this comment. Zan, I can't cancel my broken website subscription. I'm on a gifted sub right now. Yeah, you told me that last stream. Have you DM'd me for the refund-arino? Is this you? Is that you? Okay, I don't see a DM from you, but DM me after stream with a screenshot And, I shall send you a refund. Yes, I'll do it again. Okay, I get a lot of DMs, so it's pretty far down the list of recent messages. I'll check afterwards and update it. If anyone else has had similar problems, let me know. I've noticed that it's most common towards the end of the month. Like in the last day of the month, especially. I'm hopefully going to be able to get White Nervosa to fix that pretty soon, though. I don't know why the site's doing it. It's just a weird bug that's kind of cropped up in the last 4 or 5 months. It's been super annoying. Like, really annoying. I don't know how to fix it. I'm not a web developer. And, like, what I can do on my end is resisted by whatever bug is happening to the site. Like, I don't have the ability to even manually add a sub. It's so stupid. I need to learn coding so I can do that. Do you want to hear my deck for the tournament? Because, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not a Beyblade guy, you know. I'm not a Beyblade Deuterino. Anyway, thank you for the $5 as well, PepperT21. The repeat dono. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Very poggers. Send me a YouTube link. What is this? Oh, another one. Okay. We're hopping right back into one of these. All right, let me update the dono goal really fast. Oh. Let me update the dono goal really fast to reflect that generosity. Thank you very much. Let's watch the next part in the Dap Up Tournament saga. I'm at the edge of my seat right now, guys.
I can't believe you lost that match, Mr. Piccolo.
Me and GTA Barber underestimated our opponents. I wasn't expecting them to do a planetary... What's wrong?
I feel a presence approaching Dap Up distance.
Huh?
A presence?
Oh, it's just a blind old man. He seems lost. We should go help him.
You fool. That's no ordinary blind man. Even though he lacks vision, he's still making his way to the dap-up distance. I can tell he wants to dap. I'm about to show you something, Gohan. Watch closely.
Why is he removing the glasses like he's not blind? Huh? He just dapped you up and walked away.
He's heading to Dover Street. I told him to take 40 steps to the left and 15 steps to the right.
But you guys didn't even say anything. How's that possible?
Take a look at those ants on the wall, Gohan. What do you see?
They're dapping each other and walking away.
Precisely. You see, even though ants don't have the best vision, they can tell when someone is reaching the dap-up distance. They can give directions to the other person trying to go home through dapping each other.
Like a Quinn quarterback, just go straight. Some dumbass just spilled his food on the floor.
It's one of their means of communication.
Didn't know you could say all that with just dapping.
You'll get a hang of it soon. Looks like the old man's about to reach his destination. How did he end up there?
Those are so fucking stupid, but I love them. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Even the ants got the perfect dap. Never thought I would see ants dapping, but here we are. Some dumbass just spilled his food on the floor. How did he end up there? Actually fucking got me. Bro, this lore is harder than FNAF lore. Absolutely perfection and peak. Alright. I now have lost some faith in humanity that someone used FNAF as, like, a comparison for good lore. Like, this is crazier and more epic than FNAF lore. Like, okay, please. Please go outside. Oh, read something, for God's sakes. Yeah, humanity was indeed a big mistake. That's becoming very clear now. Yeah, the ants basically do dap each other up, though. Like, have you seen ants? They just, like, stop, they look at each other, and that's what they're doing. They're dapping each other up. Makes sense. Alright. We got some crazy news to cover today, so let's get right into it, huh? Let's not stun lock for too much longer, shall we? Well, this is not good news. Jesus Christ. Oh, all right. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, everybody. So lately I have been dipping deep into discussions on climate change, and there are a lot of reasons for this. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we're coming up on an election, and let's be real, climate change is one of those extremely serious existential issues on every election's docket that, for some reason, never gets as much attention as it really deserves. Despite that, it's very clear the Dems this time around are very much more pro-climate action than any time before. Biden's policies have been astronomical, and we can only hope and believe that Kamala Harris's policy might be even more radically pro-climate. Now, despite all this, there are still a lot of climate change deniers. They annoy the hell out of me, and they are endlessly lost in cognitive dissonance, and it frustrates me endlessly. But we're no longer in that phase where it can be denied, if that makes sense. For a long time, these climate change deniers have incredulously said, oh yeah, in 50 years we'll be underwater, and then we'll totally know. And it's just been this thing that's coming, you know? Like, it's coming soon. It may even come faster than we expect. It's always been the effects of it will happen soon. And that date for soon was famously always coming, but not quite here. Now, in reality, climate change has been making an impact in an effective, noticeable way across the world for decades at this point. And depending on where you live, you've known for a fact these effects are real and getting worse for a while. But despite that, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who find ways to... Really, the only way I can put it is, you argue to them that climate change is real, it is man-made, and we need to fight against it, and they will say nothing is happening, nothing is weird, no big disasters are happening, the world is not ending. And then when a disaster comes along, like this last hurricane, Helene, that just came through the south, they will, instead of seeing that as a debunk of their argument, it instead becomes evidence for why they were even more correct than if they were proven right, if they had correctly predicted what would happen. Like, actually, no, it's the Dems faking climate change to make us think it's real. So the conspiracy goes even deeper than climate change not being real. They become even more dedicated to their beliefs when they are challenged on them by reality, by irrefutable reality, like their flooding home. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene now claiming that they, quote-unquote, control the weather, and then posting a voter map on top of the hurricane destruction map. Really, really interesting stuff. So as you can imagine, I have not been of the opinion that this stuff is slowing down anytime soon. In fact, in my last videos covering Hurricane Helene, I have been repeatedly saying over and over and over and over again, worse is coming. More of these are coming, and it's not like soon as in a year, 2 years, whatever it may be, months. I mean, in weeks, we are going to get more of these hurricanes. We are in hurricane season right now. It just started, I believe, or we might be like a third of the way through it. It's going to be a rough next few months. And it's only going to get worse with each passing year, as every hurricane season, every drought season, every snow, like big blizzard season gets worse and worse and worse. And we see rising sea levels, bigger floods, communities like in North Carolina that never deal with flooding got absolutely demolished by unbelievably unexpected, unprecedented mudslides and flooding during Hurricane Helene. There are still bodies. FEMA is blocked in many areas because the low-lying, like swampy regions are still flooded with water, including the roads, so it's super hard to push through and get aid where it needs to go. Trump and the Republicans are trying to jump on this and claim that the federal government under Biden is neglecting providing FEMA care to survivors of the hurricane, but even Republicans in those states like DeSantis are now pushing back against that and denying it because it's becoming destructive to their own states and the desperate need they have for FEMA response. Like, their states are going to go belly up economically if they can't get things back together, you know? Even a Republican governor of a state who is evil and awful does not want their state to go economically belly up and have half the voters have extreme property damage that goes unaddressed, right? It's a big problem. Nonetheless, there are many that will still stick to their guns. They're like 450 Prime in YouTube chat just said, their own brain rot conspiracies are hurting them. Exactly. Now, though, only a week and a half after Hurricane Helene just decimated a coast of Florida and all the way up the West Coast, they're getting another one. And guess what? As of 5 hours ago, ironically, it has now been categorized as a Category 5 hurricane. That's right, another hurricane, possibly worse than Helene, is about to shave through much the same area. It's called Hurricane Milton. Oh shit, again? You guys didn't know? Well, it's time to get caught up on the news, I suppose.
Hurricane Milton is rapidly strengthening in the Gulf today, bringing the threat of dangerous storm surge to the Bay Area. And we just got...
This is what I mean when I say it's not that climate change is coming anymore. It's here. This is going to happen worse and worse and worse every single year. This is the most tame and calm it will ever be again if we don't turn things back, if we don't reverse the trend. There is no more denying it. There's no more saying it's coming soon. It's happening. The apocalypse is happening in this respect. These hurricanes are going to come in a line after each other. The Gulf of Mexico has turned into a Category 5 hurricane machine. It is a factory that produces them. It's only going to get worse. The Gulf is so shallow, it's going to heat up more and more, and hot oceans make hurricanes.
A word from the White House.
Dude, I cannot wait for Trump to claim Mexico is sending the hurricanes as some sort of weather, act of war, because the hurricanes tend to form in the Gulf of Mexico. You cannot tell me that is not something that he would say, right? You can't tell me he wouldn't say that. So when a hurricane comes through, especially one as big and destructive as Hurricane Helene, it destroys and wears down to a substantial degree the infrastructure set up to be worn down by these hurricanes, right? We actually did a story not long ago, or I covered a story not long ago, I should say. I'm not a journalist, where they talked about how, I believe it's in Clearwater Beach, or maybe a little north of it, north or south, the beach is being eaten away at a ridiculously fast rate, a terrifyingly fast rate. And what is happening is, after every big hurricane, when the storm surge comes through, it eats away at the beach and pulls a ton of sediment out to sea, and they have to truck in sand and rebuild the beach. Not because it's a beach where tourists go and there's houses backed up straight to the beach, and I mean there's a whole beach town there. I'm not joking. A sea level, flat beach town that if the water breaks over the beach, the whole fucking town floods by a lot. It would only have to be a foot for the town to be under a foot of water. And so they have to refill that sand. When this happens so quick in such a fast succession, there is no time to build back up. There is no time to truck out more sand and rebuild the coast of the eaten away beaches from the last hurricane, which means this time around the storm surge, even if it's a weaker hurricane, is going to be way worse. There's going to be way worse flooding because nothing is stopping it, relatively speaking, compared to the last hurricane. Nothing is stopping it from breaking and getting inland. The flooding, I mark my words, the flooding will be worse. They need to be evacuating people. Legitimately, this is a big deal. The American South is quickly going to become relatively unlivable. I mean, for many people, it already is. Imagine you live in the coastal regions of the west coast of Florida that gets constantly hit by hurricanes every hurricane season. And now we're at the point where, at least in Hernando Beach, where I grew up, it's multiple times a year, ankle to knee-deep water is flooding into your house. You have to live on stilts there now to not have your lease there be about 6 months, and also you lose everything to water damage. That is the reality of living in coastal Florida, in where I grew up, in my old neighborhood. And this is tragic to me. I'm really upset about this, but that is frankly just how it is. That is the reality of the situation. And it's only getting worse, and it's only getting worse faster. It's not coming anymore. It's happening. Who are these people going to sell their houses to? Fucking Aquaman? Because pretty soon there's not going to be times where these places are dry anymore. Right now, most of the time, these coastal towns and neighborhoods are dry. But pretty soon, we're going to reach a tipping point where those neighborhoods are underwater more often than they're above water. And that's scary to me. But we're getting there.
8 to 12 feet.
Remember, guys, the storm category pretty much has no impact on the damage by water, which is arguably the most dangerous thing about a hurricane. People think hurricane, they think the dangerous winds, right? And that is dangerous. There's also lightning that you need to worry about. And, like, the wind can absolutely kill you. It knocks down trees. It rips apart buildings. There's, like, debris flying around. But generally, if you, like, get inside your house and you close yourself into a closet, you're, like, almost 100% safe, like during the worst of hurricanes, right? It has to literally be like beyond a category 5, like into ripping houses apart level of wind for it to be that dangerous. So the hurricane category slowing down is not so much a big deal. It's not going to have like a positive effect on the outcome here. It just means less things are going to get fucked up by wind. The big damage is, and has always been with hurricanes, the storm surge. And that is going to possibly be, due to the storm's growing size, worse than the last hurricane. Does the flooding come from the rain or from, like, the waves hitting the shore, or both? It's actually a combination of other things as well. The storm surge also has to do with the tide, but a lot of it is the fact that, like, I think a lot of it is rain, but also it just sort of creates a lot of waves, and you get a massive tide, and it just comes in. I actually don't know fully what all the factors are, because I can't imagine that the ocean gets higher because of rain. That doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that one hurricane can fill the local ocean area with enough water that it noticeably raises the sea level. That just seems weird.
Special advice, so it's working its way.
I will tell you, one factor you can account for if this storm surge is going to be awful is finding out when this is expected to make landfall, if that's going to be at high tide, and if it's going to be like a full moon when this happens, like a big, close full moon, you know? It seems like there are crazier tidal events depending on the like phase of the moon. At least that's what it seemed like living in Florida. Maybe it's just a month thing and has nothing to do with moon phases, but that's what I always associated it with. Hey, yeah, that is a good point, by the way. Before you feel too bad about this, remember that Florida single-handedly prevented Al Gore from winning the presidency in 2000. All right, there's always consequences to your actions. I'm going to die, Alex. I'm sorry, Wingo. Don't worry, Wingo. We are going to create a memorial page for you on my site if you die in the hurricane, all right? Also, you got a bit to get out of there. You should, like, start running. Like, pack your shit and get out of there. Like, evacuate. Like, quick. Like, go. Like, you've got time. Don't wait. Man, I hope my family ends up being all right. Most of my family that lives in Florida lives in Tampa. Zan, why do you keep calling me Alex, Wingo? I'm Zan. No, evacuation is not pack up and leave when everyone else is pack up and leave. There is traffic and no way out. That is not true. You live in... Where do you live? In Florida. I live in Florida. I know for a fact that once you can, like... You can navigate through countless little maze-like neighborhoods to get out of a city in Florida. And once you're out of the city, there are countless country roads that you can find. You can program your GPS to keep you off the highway. And you can absolutely get out. If you have a vehicle and you have a GPS, you can get out. You can. I promise you. And please do. Do not try to ride this shit out. Just don't. You can argue with my claims here, but I'm just simply giving you advice to stay alive. Nothing is more valuable to you than your life. Your house and possessions won't matter if you die with your house and possessions in a hurricane. You have to remember, even if, like, flooding seems relatively, you know, not a big deal, the houses in Florida are, let's be real, cheaply made garbage that will sog up and fall apart if they get waterlogged too much. It happens, by the way. And the higher the water gets, the more inward weight is pushing on every wall of the house equally, on every square inch under the water. And so as water rises, even if you're forced to get on your roof, your house could collapse inwards, it turns out, and you will die if that happens. Do not risk it. Please get out of there. Evacuate. Yeah, the times of ride these hurricanes out are gone. You can't ride these things out. It's literally going to be a horror movie for you if you try to. I'm just trying to get you to look out for yourself here.
In the coastline, you don't want to run from the wind. You hide from the wind. You run from the water. We'll talk.
Yes. Yes. True. That, you know, that guy knows Florida storms. Whew. You hide from the wind, you run from the water. Isn't that exactly what I said before, too? You can always just hide in a closet from, like, the really fast Cat 5 winds. Like, they're not going to rip your house apart, so in a closet you'll be safe. But if your house floods, you can't hide from that, you know? Yeah, the water is going to be a big problem. You know, if you guys want to get a look at what it's like when this happens, actually, how many of you guys are familiar with the YouTuber/streamer, used to be a massive big shot, by the way, like a huge content creator, named Tfue. T-F-U-E. I used to watch him a lot during the Fortnite days because he was like the big Fortnite guy, and he was probably one of the best players in the game during his peak. But I haven't watched him in years because, you know, just not really into that type of content anymore. But one thing I always found funny was that when I was super into Fortnite, I happened to be living in Tampa. And I noticed in Mr. Beast's video, I know, cringe, badly aged, but in Mr. Beast's video where he bought a school bus and painted it blue and then decked it out to be like a party bus, like the battle bus from Fortnite, and brought it to Tfue as like a Florida Tampa native, I started to recognize things, restaurants, businesses, road signs, landmarks outside of the window as Mr. Beast was driving to Tfue's house. And then when he pulled up, I was like, oh, I think I know where Tfue lives. And then I opened up Google Maps, and sure enough, I knew exactly where Tfue lived. And I was like, man, I gotta hold on to this. I don't know if bro's been doxxed before, but I'm not going to be the one who does it. I have to hold on to this information. So I always found that funny. I always liked the idea that, like, when I lived in Florida, I lived pretty damn close to one of the biggest streamers on Twitch at the time. It was one of those funny-ass, like, flexes that only 18-year-olds find cool. I was 18 at the time, for those that don't know. So, Tfue recently put out a video where he is there in Tampa during Hurricane Helene. He was out skimboarding on the beach, which he does a lot in his videos, apparently, and that is when Hurricane Helene hit with a lot more power than any of them expected. And so I want to show you guys this video for two reasons. The first reason being it's going to give you a good idea of what this hurricane damage is like. The second being it's going to show you what the damage after the hurricane is like to the things that help to prevent worse damage next time. They're still trying to clean up the sand that got washed out of place. You're going to see in a moment. Let me show you this video. It got 1.7 million views, and it came out 5 days ago because that is how recently the last hurricane happened. And I want you to remember through this whole video that in less than 2 weeks, every one of this video is going to have to deal with another hurricane coming. Also, trigger warning, I guess. Tfue's dad is a Trump supporter and is not afraid to show it. You'll find out what I mean by that momentarily. Let's watch.
Yeah, you can catch one wave and be 6 blocks down the beach.
Category 3 as it's making landfall, and it came in a little bit closer to us.
That's a hurricane siren.
Waves this big before.
You want me to just take you?
Yeah, you want to take me, Merrick?
Yeah. Don't go? Alright. I love you guys, but I can't get my picture.
So many great memories in here, Dick. Yeah, we should fuck it.
I need a beer for this.
All right, chat, so we're in a hurricane right now, trying to find some surf or some
So, yeah.
skin. It's not gonna hit us until later.
Those are just a few of, like, the cuts. And we're not going to watch the full video in its entirety here, because it's a lot of, you know, vlog stuff, and it's stretched to that 11-minute mark for ad revenue and all that good stuff. What I really want to show you is the real action. Actually, that shot right there is amazing. Do you notice anything here? This is literally the exact beach that we covered in that one segment, I believe. And if it's not, it's just another example of the issue that's happening across Florida. Look how little beach there is. This line, if you recognize that, if you know water and beaches, you know what this line is. That is the line from water lapping away dry sand. The water is coming in, it is eaten away at the beach, and it is now just slowly dissolving this away. And you know, because this whole area is about to flood in this video, that the water is about to rise above their heads. The water is going to rise well above their heads here. And as that happens, the current is eating away at this sand at an unbelievable rate. And this is the sand that the foundations of these buildings are all built on. We are very, very close to the reality that scientists, climatologists have warned about, of cities underwater, millions of people displaced in America by flood and rising sea levels. We are so close that it's going to be happening in the next few years, that we're going to be seeing this go down.
15 miles an hour offshore. So like you start paddling into it, it's like this wind pockets and the wave breaks and just blows in your face.
Look at them. You got to admit, though, the surfing during the storm is pretty fun. The surfing during a storm, you got to take the opportunity. But eventually they realize, oh, wait, this storm's getting real.
Wow. I've never seen weather and waves this big before. The beach is like not even existent. Like,
no, dude, we saw a dock floating down for at least like 5 blocks.
Seen a clip of that, just like, no, can you get the lift up anymore?
Bro, if my boat's already floating, that's really bad, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Your hair almost broke.
Man, the wind is fast.
Hello? Just take everything that's valuable from the ground floor. I'm worried about...
Oh, that dock's in the water over there. That boat's about to be off their lift.
Even if you don't take it home. We just lost power. Our driveway's flooded.
You want me to just take you?
Yeah,
You want the power to go out, to be fair. Big advice for any people in the path of big storms, especially if you're like a 20-something who's living alone for the first time. Something you have to know what to do about is if your house floods, then it's because a storm has come, most likely. And if a storm's happening so severe that your house is flooded, then the power is probably going to go out. Here's the thing, though. If the water goes high enough that it starts covering up electrical outlets, it could be, you know, power strips, power outlets, you know, just anything like that, and the power comes back on and you're in that water, it could be a serious, serious, serious problem. Like a really bad problem if the power comes back on. Now, water does damage electronics if there is no power, Circuit Dog. This water will. This is very dirty, shitty, like awful water with a little bit of salt in it. It's like perfect for rusting steel and other metals. It's very gross. It's sticky and full of muck and whatnot. It's not at all just pure water that electronics can take. You want to flip your breaker yourself, and you do not want to flip it back on and allow power back into your house until every bit of water is gone. Obviously, things can still be damp, I guess, but you do not want your power to come back on while water is still like draining out. It could be a big problem. Once the flooding starts, you want to flip the breaker even if the power is already out.
Beach. From the beach? Oh my god. Oh, what? I just don't want to get my truck somewhere and be stranded. How far are we? Don't go? Alright. You guys want to walk?
It's getting warned not to go further because his tailpipe will get flooded. The truck won't be able to go further. He'll get stuck. I know, because I've been in that situation. I've been through this, by the way. I literally was made homeless in 2016 when I was a teenager by not even a hurricane, tropical storm. Hermine came and just, ironically, it kind of rhymes with Helene, and came along and just flooded Hernando Beach, which was my neighborhood at the time. It looked a lot like this. The footage you're about to see is very familiar.
This video because I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Oh, it's not good.
Only I did not have a house this nice. He's filling his garage.
It's floating.
He's getting in. His car is floating.
I don't like if the car's on when we're in water.
We're in a lot of electricity right now, so we should probably...
She should not be walking around in the, they should not be walking in this water. Look at the color it is. It's that color for a reason.
Oh yeah, not so much.
That last shot is a really good idea of like how bad it got, because you saw a bit of the garage there. Like the garage is obviously fucked. But this is him closing the door to the garage and in like shin deep water in his bottom floor. This guy's got like a really nice like mansion style house in Tampa, Florida. So, you know, it's you don't feel too bad for him and everything. He's got so much money, he could easily move, he could easily get all this fixed, but at the same time, there are countless other people going through this and worse, you know? His house is faring better than a lot of the other houses in the area, I bet, and this is how bad it is. Imagine if you're asleep and you're not fast enough and you realize every electronic on your bottom floor is destroyed when you wake up.
Oh yeah, not so much sand on the beach access. Insane. How you can't move that. How you gonna move that? I mean, you got a beachfront property
sand.
now, huh?
No, I have a beach house.
I'll just go check on other properties down the beach.
You can't. It's a mandatory evacuation, and these things can't be on the road unless they're tagged.
What about a car?
If you got a car, you can get.
Look at all the mud.
For being out when there's a mandatory evacuation.
The road's covered in sand and mud.
Mandatory
and trash.
I'll go write a ticket and be done. I'll go write a ticket and be done. Turn around, go inside.
He's like, oh, it's a mandatory evacuation. Well, how do I evacuate?
Well, I'm gonna write you a ticket right now for trying to leave. You just told me I either can leave or I can stay, and I'm trying to leave, and you're like, you gotta turn around and go home.
Well, if I get arrested, does that mean I can leave? All right, ciao.
Dude, the aftermath of hurricanes sucks so much in Florida. It gets so fucking hot after a hurricane. If you know, then you know. It's that time of the year, and it's just your power is out sometimes for days, so you've got no AC and no entertainment. And if you're really hit bad and in a big city, you might not, like, it gets humid and hot, and it's just boring. And you get to the point where you just start driving around, if you're allowed to, just to run the AC and to listen to the radio. It really sucks. That was a thing that happened like once every few years when I was a kid. Now it's a few times a year. And it's only getting more common. It's only getting more severe every time it happens, too.
We cleaned up a lot. All the cars are fucked. But the fire department's on the way. They gotta get my Tesla out of the garage because it's making a bunch of weird noises. It was fully submerged in water last night.
Well,
we had water all the way up to like 4 feet above the bottom floor. If
another Tesla down, guys.
Yeah, the BMW's fucked, the E30 M3. 57 Chevy is fucked.
Yeah, there's a lot of houses that don't have second floors. Mine didn't.
Tesla blew up earlier today.
One Tesla flooded, one blew up.
Like 140 calls for the day? Sorry you had to come deal with my dumb ass. Oh, it don't matter, man.
So many great memories in here, Dick.
This is Dad's house.
I think you should leave the sand up.
This is the deep end now.
Yeah, it used to be 9 feet. Now it's full of sand. Chat.
Look at all.
That used to be the deep end of the pool.
So this sand here is not supposed to be there. Like, you can see the beach is right there. The beach is supposed to end, like, if I remember right, around this tree. All of this is like concrete patio covered in sand because the ocean came and consumed all of this.
Pool used to be grass here. The Juke Squad sticker still stands though. Right there. The water was up to here. The sand was up to here. That's the legendary.
You can
window.
see the water line.
Mr. Beast was right here.
I want to donate to you.
No, the PCs are fucking toast. I'll take the hard drives off. I'll take the Fortnite trophy. That's the sickest
Oh.
trophy ever. The fact that you can just take the pickaxe off. They let me pick them. You know that when I won? I picked the pick squeak.
It's up to here.
You can see the Dad's Make America Great Again hat. I think he switches between multiple Make America Great Again hats in this video because I think it changes color, if I remember right. You gotta love watching in real time as Trump supporters experience the consequences of their vote.
It blew the window out, and the waves came right in.
I don't think it looks that much different than before.
I'm glad that he lives in a fantasy world of gaming and stuff. I had 3,000 pounds of sand in here and water. Your room, we cleaned it out. Look at it. Lunch.
He just walks away. Lunch.
Yeah, this place.
I didn't vote for him.
Oh, another one.
Oh, we're not talking about you. Oh, look at the rats. Oh my god. Dude, his dad's house had rats. His dad's house had rats, and when the house flooded, the rats drowned. and like tried to escape, and so when the water receded, there's just dead rats on the floor. Dude.
Condemned, I think.
Oh, another one.
Where?
You care about that fence?
Not at all.
I care about that.
I care about
Haitian
that.
cats washed up.
I'm surprised the trampoline did not get blown
Sorry, we have
away.
to have a commercial
The
here.
trees
David
probably
Phillips,
caught it.
Real estate attorney, Pinellas County, the best in the world. He comes over and helps clean up.
Anything for you, Dick. Ow! Oh, did I get you?
So the attorney dropped something on my foot, so I need Morgan and Morgan to the attorney.
I mean, chat, I don't know if you guys know, but all my cars flooded. My homie Chris gave me his Raptor, so I'm pretty stoked on that. But we gotta get the fuck out of here because the air quality's so bad. They must be pumping shit in the water. It's probably fuel, fucking sewage, who knows what washed up here.
Oh my
let's go
gosh.
check out other properties.
Well-
There's a boat in that guy's yard.
Something that you got to keep in mind as well is that every time a big flood hurricane comes in with a big storm surge, every boat gets capsized. All the boats docked at all the marinas and on all the docks at every like canal get like lifted up past the dock, because the most popular docks are either fully cemented down and so they just flood over, or they have like hinges so they can rise a bit with the tide, but if it floods too much, they also sink. And then the boat breaks off of its mooring, and it ends up floating around in the waves and the hitting of the sides of houses and trees and stuff, because it's like floating through a neighborhood, ends up causing them to capsize and bust open, and the fuel tanks leak, and you end up with fuel-filled water, like gasoline-filled water all over. So after a hurricane, it doesn't even smell all oceany. Like, it doesn't even smell nice after a hurricane, like the ocean, like salty, like a sea breeze. Instead, it smells like leaking cars. Like, it smells like motor oil.
Yeah, chat, this is my like rental property, I guess. I'm pretty shocked. Yeah, we should.
Everybody's shit is flooded.
Bad. Oh, fuck. This is right before I was born. Ow, it's my brother and my sister.
Water's just in the outlet.
I know. The house fucking
That's
sucks, but at
dangerous
least
as
the
hell.
trees didn't fall into the roof and smash it.
I never like actually saw the water line here, but look at that. This is one of the
Holy
worst I saw.
shit. That's crazy. This is where the water was. You can tell this is like little leaves and debris that like stuck to the side of the house along the water line at its top, and it like stuck as it dropped, and it dropped fast, so you don't really see other lines, but this is where the water stopped rising. You can see it. That is insane. That's up to the doorknob. Wow. And it's only getting worse, and it's only getting more frequent. Do you think there's hope for the climate if Harris wins? Only if Harris wins, to be very clear. Only if she wins.
This is the worst house of it all, for sure.
All right, Chad. Hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. There's still a lot of work to do on the beach. A lot of houses are destroyed.
So I wanted to show you this because the damage is going to be very similar when this next hurricane comes along, which is, you know, one thing. But on top of that, their protection against this damage has just been annihilated by another hurricane. The beaches are eroded. The infrastructure is damaged. People's power in many places probably aren't even back on yet. And there's about to be another hurricane, even more damage. And guys, I would not be crazy to predict that another one's going to start forming as soon as this one passes. Why wouldn't it? We're in the midst of hurricane season, and this is just how they are now. Please get out if you can. And if you can get out permanently, that is ideal. Unfortunately, if you're a Floridian or you live in Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, less so, but going up the East Coast in the South, there's a good chance that in the coming years, and I mean like count on one hand, you might end up being a climate refugee. We're that close. Is Disneyland affected? It will be, if it isn't already. It's going to be bad. Waffle houses are going to be closed. It's going to be that bad. Anyway, guys, despite the very, not exactly happy subject matter of this segment, I do hope you're able to enjoy it. If you found it entertaining or informative, and hopefully it was informative in, like, an educational safety kind of way, like, if you, God forbid, are in the path of this storm, maybe you learned something that can help you stay alive. Regardless, please consider dropping a like. It really does help the channel a lot, and it means a ton. Consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon if you haven't already and you want to see more content from me. And comment down below if you also want to help with boosting the video and the channel. Every like and comment I have watched in real time as it makes YouTube push my content out to more people. So everyone who does that, it really means a lot. If you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias, linked down below in the description of this stream or video. And you can also join my fan Discord if you haven't already. It's totally free. It's the main hub of my community and fan base. And on top of that, I host watch parties, gaming events, call-in streams, and announce all my new uploads and streams there. So if you don't want to miss anything, then please consider joining that as well. And finally, if you're feeling generous and you want to support me directly, financially, help keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to me on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, thank you for watching, even if you're a lurker, and have a good one. How'd you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. Despite the subject matter being downright, like, dreadful. Like, literally dreadful. Good segment? I'm glad you guys think so. It's an important topic. I gotta talk about these things. It is very, like, one of the most important topics. Legitimately so. Really fast, chat, before, I move on to the next segment and potentially get stunlocked talking to chat first. I'm going to quickly use the restroom and grab myself a Monster Energy. It is about 4 p.m. now, and my late afternoon slump is hitting a little hard today. So I'm going to go grab myself a little caffeine injection of sorts, that being a can of Monster. The same thing that Sam Bridges, the guy whose job it is to fight ghosts and carry heavy packages across the country, uses to keep his energy up. So that's how you know it's the good shit. I'll be right back. BRB, stay tuned, my lovely chattors. Well, 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 I have returned. It is good to see that you guys are patient little pog champions. I am back. I live in Alberta, so literally the opposite of anywhere floodable. It was a very good segment. Well, you gotta remember, in Alberta, you're gonna have that, I think that's cold enough to have permafrost, right? The permafrost is melting and the ground is turning into liquid, pretty much. Holy shit, really, Azo999? That's fucking gross and insane. You know what? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna add it to the list, because, you know, I should cover that. I should talk about it. What color is the monster? What? What color is what monster? Hey Xanderhall, the range of VTubers that are not anti-woke or leftists but are just normies or grillers are 99% to 99.9% of VTubers? I sure hope so, Delancer. I sure hope so. Yo, Slashy, thank you so much for the $7 donation. That's extremely kind of you. It really means a lot. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Let me add that to the dono goal really fast so I don't end up forgetting. Thanks. Said $7 for you to go into a bit as to how the right wing and MAGA are going to continue to spin this, especially if Disney World closes for a while. Will they rely more and more on supernatural explanations? Yeah, no, the Republicans are going to go down, like, screaming that they are right and that the hurricanes actually prove climate change is extra not real. As they go down, or eventually they'll embrace that climate change is real, but they'll claim that they believed it was real and have been fighting it this whole time, and the Dems have been the deniers. I really wouldn't put it past them to do that. Like, the second climate change becomes a popularly believed thing on the right, if it does because of these problems, the right will immediately say they were the ones fighting against it and saying it's real this whole time. And they'll just DreamWorks smile at the camera and every Democrat voter and politician as they do so. They'll just go, yeah, those Democrats, those liberals, they never believed in climate change, but we Republicans, we're the ones telling you about this whole time. Don't you remember? You remember that, right? You're not crazy. You remember that, right? That's basically how it would go on a national scale. Thank you, Slashy. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. Let me update that dono goal really fast. There we go. Add a 7 to that number right there. Yeah, they're gonna gaslight, gatekeep, and then they're gonna girl boss real hard. Whoa, Pepper T21. Thank you for the $5 donation. Extremely kind of you. Means a lot. Very much appreciated. Said, we're talking VTubers soon, so obligatory shill that I am, despite all of 4 of my streams being completely ass, I am superior VTuber to Nuxtaku. True. True. Very true. You are better than Nuxtaku. Well, to be fair, everybody is. That is setting yourself a low bar. But I will put on a clip of your stream about Shadow of Mordor, because Shadow of Mordor goes hard. I like this game. There we go.
Time for our first jump.
One bit of advice I would give is you definitely want to make the game window a bit bigger
So, we missed one of
so that it's easier to see.
Eh? An easy mistake to fix.
This is the opening of the game.
Let's go.
I love this game. It's fun.
No time.
Better VTuber than Nuxtaku. That is true. Chat, what's worse, Rev Says Desu or Nuxtaku? Probably Rev Says Desu, to be honest. I am a 13th distant cousin of Nuxtaku. Oh, I'm so sorry, Delancer. That is tragic. That is That is a tragedy, and I am so sorry for you. I hope you're able to, like, go to therapy and get past that. Like, to recover from that. Oh. The last time we had a normal winter in my area was 2014. Yeah, it's bad, guys. It's real cringe. It's real bad. It's not good. Speaking of VTubers, I guess that should be the next segment we do, huh? Nice, Pepper T21. Yeah, he'll give some good advice. Did you watch the clip of Nux calling you out? Oh yeah, somebody sent me the clip. It's not really him calling me out. He kind of vague tweets about me. But, I am glad. I hope he ends up making a video about me. Because I want there to be evidence that I was one of the larger-ish content creators that had the balls to call him out before the rest of YouTube did. I'm going to be very happy when Nuxtaku ends up being the next Shadman, and I'm remembered as the guy that Nuxtaku got really angry at because he called him out for exactly what he was. I'm very happy that that is how I'm going to be remembered. So, not too upset about it, considering Nuxtaku is on his way to being basically widely known as the next Shadman. I really hope he makes that video. I really want to be remembered that way. I want that proof. I want that proof there forever. Democrats would be like, you're right, we should have, but let's work together to fix this. Oh, God, yeah, you know they would be if Republicans pulled that. You and Nuxtaku share an ancestor in 16th century France. Jesus, Delancer. That sucks. Dude, I'm playing through Age of Empires 2 off stream, and goddamn, the second mission of the Joan of Arc campaign is so fucking hard. I've never been an RTS guy except for Age of Empires when I was very little, and I was never any good at it. I didn't really know the game outside the basics, I'm sure. And so, relearning, like, how to play an RTS, it's hard, you know? A lot of time management, a lot of just, like, any moment you spend not doing something is bad, and that's hard to get used to in a game, you know? Any mention of fucking Rev Says Desu sends me into a blind rage? Yeah, I think so. Who would want to fuck Rev Says Desu? That idea would send me into a blind rage. Jesus. Like, yeah, no duh. Oh. Anyway. Let me get the next segment ready, okay? Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. So as you guys know, I am not really someone super tapped into the VTuber sphere. It's really not my cup of tea. It's not my, I don't really understand it, you know? I don't hate it, necessarily. I don't just immediately default to hate for things that I don't get that are popular, but, it's certainly just not my cup of tea, right? However, with that in mind, I do have an open one. You know, I have an open mind. I'm not like closed-minded. I'm not a hater, right? I've got friends that are VTubers, you know? I understand that the VTuber space, like, apparently like 99% of the time is normal, fine people, but I have seen a worrying trend that seems, well, it's really in no way constrained to the VTuber community. I've seen it happen in a lot of other spaces, but I feel it's time that the VTuber space got its own dedicated segment about this. You see, there seems to be a trend of VTuber content creators getting radicalized to the right, and it's usually through VTuber news content. And there is a small handful of content creators, one of the largest being a familiar face on the channel, that has had a very large influence on the rest of the VTube community, and it's led to a rise in these cutesy, uwu anime girl avatar VTubers making cringe, like, basement dweller, brain rot, anti-woke grift videos. And an example is a content creator that I have been requested to cover by my Discord called Smug Alana. This is the channel that I have been requested to cover. And apparently, she used to do videos that were, like, generally not that crazy, but now she's doing videos like Ubisoft's wokeness runs deeper than you think. Why do men think like this? Meme Monday. The stupid, she does the stupidest wars in history. It gets like no views, but the wokeness stuff gets way more views in less time. The modern audience is affecting Japan. This is the video we're going to be covering. This is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Is Ghost of Yotei, I guess is how it's pronounced. I'm not Japanese, so I don't know. Doomed to fail because of girl bossing? Sydney Watson react. Actually, I don't think this is the video. Also, watching Sydney Watson. A lot of these videos are reacting to conservatives. Ah, Shuan Head's on here. I wonder why. Anyway. Essentially, this content creator used to just do pretty, innocent react videos and is slowly, dipping into the anti-woke stuff. And it's weird. Every time I cover a VTuber that's become right-wing, and I upload my response to them, fans of them that also watch me post that they didn't know that this VTuber in question, or insert any VTuber, was like that, because apparently a lot of these content creators divide their content up into two categories. VTuber content, that is to say content about the VTube community, news, drama, that kind of stuff, and their normal stuff, which is like this. And so a lot of these people blow up by just talking about other VTubers and VTuber drama, and then their audience sticks around and gets perhaps radicalized by this content. And so we're going to take a look at her video. Is a woke voice actor going to ruin Ghost of Yotei? Rev says Desu react. That's right, guys. We're doubling up today. We're doubling up today. For those that don't know, the reason why we know of Rev Says Desu on this channel is because he is a sort of long-time enemy of this circle here. You see, he years ago uploaded a video following the success of the anime Cyberpunk Edgerunners with a video called The Lolly Stays, or something like that. And it was a picture of Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And I was a little confused by this. The framing of it was like based the lolly stays, like it was implying that it was like good or based to like lolly. So I was like, okay, this looks a little weird. And so I covered the video on stream. And essentially what he was doing was claiming that the very much adult character in Cyberpunk Edgerunners, Rebecca, is a lolly. And the goal of doing this, quite explicitly so, was to muddy the definition of lolly to sometimes also include adult women, so that dudes who make it their identity to be attracted to lollies can have a little bit of, ambiguity, I guess, in the perception of people online. I called this out for what it was, and of course got massively dogpiled, because he is a much larger content creator, backed by much larger content creators than even he, like Asmongold and, other figures that are just big streamers that react to shit like that. And so we're going to watch a video of this Smug Alana VTuber reacting to Rev Says Desu and talking about how this voice actor is bad and is going to ruin this game. Mind you, this is just another part of this trend that's gotten really big in this space, where the anti-woke sphere has jumped from just boycotting and shit-talking shows to specifically overtly targeting the actors and voice actors and cast of shows and movies they call woke, where it's like, oh, did a bunch of harassment go out towards this actress who's playing a character that the internet's mad about? Did they respond in a way that's even somewhat not perfect? Well, now we're open to just absolutely shit on them and make them into a pariah to attack, right? So let's watch this. We're not going to watch all of it because it's like 30 minutes long and we're watching a reaction. We're reacting to a reaction, so yeah. Let's get into this. I need you to understand that this is like...
I saw that Mr. Shitpost.
God damn it. I need you guys to understand that this content, for me, is like genuinely... I can't stand it, alright? I am gritting my teeth and bearing through this, okay? Fucking hell. I need Gooners just... I need Gooners gone, guys. I need Gooners. I'm becoming more anti-Gooner by the day, alright? Maybe I am asexual, aromantic, because every day I see Gooners and I want them to disappear more and more.
Friend of the stream, Twitter extraordinaire shitpost. He was preemptively blocked by them, even though he...
Alright, guys. I'm gonna say something that's gonna get used against me, and I don't give a single solitary fuck, alright? Have you ever heard a girl speak over the internet, and you just hear the pick-me voice? Listen, just tell me you hear it too, please! Tell me I'm not the only one who has learned to clock this shit! The pick-me voice. I don't know how, but there is a tone of voice and a way of speaking that, like, pick-me's love to... Like, there's a few different categories, but this is one of them. And it just... You know it. Like, if her voice is obnoxious to you and you're annoyed by it, it's because you are detecting it and you don't recognize it. For a second, I thought you said pygmy voice. No, pick-me voice. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that tone. Yeah, just listen to a bit more.
He's never interacted with them. Yeah. Apparently he never tweeted at them. They just have like a block list. But let's see it. I'm learning. Learning what to look out for, chat.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here.
So apparently this drama that is motivating harassing the voice actress playing the main character of the Ghost of Tsushima sequel is because the voice actress had Rev Says Desu blocked on Twitter. That's it.
So after the failure of Concord, among other things, Sony really needs a win right now, and they're trying to do that with this recent announcement of an upcoming project, Ghost of Yotei, which is presumably a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, which was a very successful game, one that is used as a comparison point to Assassin's Creed Shadows, because people look at Ghost of Tsushima, and they say that is a very well-researched game when it comes to Japanese history and culture, as opposed to Assassin's Creed Shadows, where Ubisoft did not do such a good job at their research.
And that's why Ubisoft...
I really just don't buy these talking points, consider how much these people have just gone off of rumors. Somebody who's actually conservative and right-leaning commented this recently on one of my videos. I've actually noticed a pretty high uptick in conservative viewers of my channel, and including on stream. Not like my content is like becoming right-wing and appealing to conservatives, but that there is a wave of conservatives online right now that are trying out lefty content because something is causing them to feel dissatisfied with the content creators on the right that they have been watching. And so one of those things I've had pointed out to me about these anti-woke grift YouTubers is that so much of their content is based off of rumors that never end up coming true. A really good example that's relevant to this topic is Assassin's Creed Shadows. They've spread a rumor for a while now that originally Yasuke wasn't in the game and they had a fully realized, designed, voice-acted, and written Japanese protagonist that they wrote out of the game and replaced in response to the George Floyd protests. I'm not joking. This is what the rumor from the 4chan post that originated the rumor claims, that the George Floyd protests led to Ubisoft wanting to capitalize off of the BLM movement, and so they made Yasuke, and then the rumor continues to go on to say, this is the origin of this rumor, that they specifically designed him to look like George Floyd, and then goes on to say, because George Floyd has been ordained as the messiah of the woke religion. That is the post that originates the rumor that many of these content creators rolled with, that Yasuke was added in the last 3 months before the trailer to the game, right? And now they're claiming that the game is being delayed a few months so that they can remove Yasuke from the game in response to the backlash from gamers. Because the game got delayed and Ubisoft is currently hitting a big drop in their income and stock value due to the failure of Star Wars Outlaws, which, guess what? They also claim is because of woke, because it was a financial failure. Anything that fails financially, they'll call woke. Anything they think will fail financially, they'll call woke. If it doesn't fail financially, they'll walk it back. That's the formula. That's what they do.
Ubisoft also moved their release date because of this game, apparently. People are speculating, but it's probably a good reason to move it.
However, a lot of people are concerned.
How fucking perfect. Where I talk about conservative content creators, or conservative content viewers are now watching more left-wing content, at least on my channel, because they're getting tired of the speculation and rumor reporting and posting that never ends up being true, that's just being used as a basis to make another video complaining about a game so that they can, like, grift ad money off of it. The fact that so much of what they have to say is just rumors and, you know, theories that originate from anonymous posts on 4chan from people whose uncle's dad's brother works at Ubisoft. It's like, imagine this level of reporting being acceptable in any other field. Only in this space where there is so little seriousness and shame in the first place is it acceptable to base your reporting off of such flimsy evidence. Nobody, like, there is no real journalism in the anti-woke space, right? It's not a serious space, and so they don't have serious journalists. It's all, like, the most they have as evidence to back up their beliefs is, like, videos of things happening that directly go against data. Like, they'll claim, here's a video of a thing happening, and you're like, okay, well, that's all well and cool that you have a video of that happening. You might even have dozens of videos of it happening, or hundreds, but the statistical data suggests that's actually the minority of cases, and these people don't care. They believe what they see in, like, 3 YouTube videos. They see, like, 2 or 3 videos of a thing, and they think that is what's going on. That is the trend. That is the majority of cases. That is how these people think.
Concerned about this game, not because of any concerns about gameplay or what have you. They're concerned about the people involved with this project, whether it's some of the developers, but mainly the choice of the actress behind the presumed main protagonist of this upcoming release.
Can I just say my first thought is, I don't know why, but they just don't look very... It just looks like they're pissed off. Why would you use this, like, still shot of the main character of the series looking like that? They look pissed. Don't.
Hey chat, why do you guys think people watch this creator? I'm being such an asshole here, but, like, why do you think people watch this creator? Just based off of the last, like, 2 minutes of commentary we've seen, why do you think people are... Yeah, I think you guys know. There's... listen, Squad W, chat. Squad W, that's all I'm saying.
Don't buy it. Why are we making money? Resting bitch face looks disgusted. It just looks like they're very annoyed.
Yeah, there's never been a case in which a video game protagonist... mind you, this is literally a... Do they realize that this is like a YouTuber's tweet of an article that they wrote, it seems? Yeah. Tells gamers that they don't like go... Yeah, this is an article they wrote on their site, and they used a picture of the main character looking angry. Why would you... So let me tell you what just happened here. She is reacting to a conservative article where there is an image used for the article of the character, as she says, looking angry and having resting bitch face, and wondering, why did they use this image for her? As if Ubisoft did it, and not the YouTuber who wrote this anti-woke article that chose to use this screen grab. Actively falling for it in real time.
And as a result of that, a former Sony chairman has said, well, if you don't like Ghost of Yotei, then don't buy it.
Well, that's why you're former Sony chairman, because you're former, because they probably fired you because you suck at your job. Duh. I mean, there's certain they probably should look kind of grimy and pissed off. I guess. Maybe it's just a nitpick. Maybe it's just me being nitpicky.
strategy we have seen blow up in the faces of people in the past. Now, before we get into that, instead of that logic, you should buy this new Rev and Straub collection with Advanced GG. We have another...
Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh, did you guys know that, Rev Says Desu's character is a stolen design? I've in the past, I've accused, Rev Says Desu of being, like, pedo-adjacent due to the avatar. Apparently the avatar is an adult in the show that it's ripped from, though I really don't give much of a fuck about that. But it is just straight up a character ripped from an anime. Rev Says Desu's avatar is. And then on top of that, I found out recently from a personal DM I got, and an app from, I believe it was, Breedu in chat, added me with the same thing, showing me that an artist has come out confirming that Nuxtaku's avatar is a stolen Sans fan art from years and years and years and years ago they made. Rev Says Desu stole the human Sans art and then made it into his avatar explicitly. I think this is probably a really common trend that a bunch of these big VTubers are using obscure stolen art for their rigs, because how the fuck do you start VTubing without a decent, like, unless you have money to put down to pay a Fiverr artist for the art and the rigging of a VTuber avatar, which I feel like would be a bit expensive. I mean, I'm sure there's cheap options, but I mean, to get in at a high quality, it's going to be a bit expensive. I'm pretty sure my rig costs $250. I'm assuming that's like a starting cost too, right, Pepper T21? Yeah, you've got to be willing to invest a bit to get into this, so it wouldn't surprise me if a bunch of designs are stolen. And yeah, Rev Says Desu is one of the people whose VTube design is stolen, and somehow no legal anything has come after. So G Fuel is literally using a already licensed owned character that Rev Says Desu doesn't have ownership of, and or not G Fuel. I don't know what this is. This G Fuel? I don't know what company this is. One of those gamer drink companies is accidentally breaching the copyright of a anime production and animation company. That because Rev is doing that and they don't know. Advanced Energy, yeah.
Bundle with me and my wife.
We're not doing this ad bit.
Right now, a lot of people are combing through her social media accounts, in particular her Twitter account.
That's a lot of followers. I've never heard of this person.
And they're finding a lot of very political and divisive tweets that are really rubbing them the wrong way. Now, a lot of false flaggers are trying to basically dismiss the concerns about her as people just being angry about a female protagonist in this game. You can see the shill account Culture Crave saying, no doubt, in response to a comment saying, let me guess, the
needs to touch grass community are mad it's a woman. I thought Culture Rave was like just there to bring up news. I thought they were just a news account, man.
Anybody who does not complain nonstop about minorities in media, any new media, or like the wokeness or whatever, is considered a shill. Hell, if you happen to like something that is deemed woke garbage by the internet, you're called a shill. Do you know how many times I've been accused of being paid by Amazon because I like Rings of Power? Like, fair enough if you despise it, right? But like, the idea that you cannot even conceptualize a realm in which someone likes something that you consider woke trash is just... It tells me that there's no seriousness to it, right? Like, there's no real... like conviction to an idea there. It's just sort of reacting. It's just kind of running with the flow, joining up with a bandwagon for the sake of being part of something.
Needs to touch grass community are mad it's a woman. And keep in mind, this is the same person who helped promote the Japanese historian Yu Hirayama and his claims that Yasuke in Assassin's Creed Shadows is a actual samurai in real life.
Oh.
I love this, by the way. They've been nonstop claiming, yes, so Japan hates Assassin's Creed Shadows. Meanwhile, they can't find, like, Japanese people to complain about it. There is no, like, Japanese pushback against AC Shadows. And they have to, like, cancel and dogpile Japanese historians that are coming out to say, well, no, he technically was. He was on retainer for a lord. Like, that is what, in modern day, we consider a samurai. That category is a little vague. It's not necessarily a very hard line, right? Like, there isn't a stone somewhere where God himself etched the definition of the word samurai, right? And so culture in Japan, like society in general, historically remembers him and reveres him as a samurai. And so the game that is literal historical fiction, that is the category that Assassin's Creed has always been under, is opting for the popular interpretation of Yasuke being a samurai so he can be a badass main character in the game. And we're like, it's crazy that the most interesting looking Assassin's Creed game in a while, like the Assassin's Creed game that's finally delivering what fans have asked for so long, is the one they're deciding to attack because black person, right? Like, everybody's wanted Assassin's Creed Japan for so long. They're giving us two different characters so they can like focus on different aspects of the game with those characters, where one of them is more stealth focused, the other is more combat focused and can't even climb and parkour. It's like, it's one of the most interesting takes on Assassin's Creed that we've had in a decade, it feels like, and they've decided this is the game that they are going to make the next thing to attack, to make sure fails. They want it to fail. They're trying to make it fail so they can be proven right. Because if it ends up succeeding, then you'll believe this will get memory hold faster than anything else, and no one's going to speak or whisper of Assassin's Creed Shadows in this space ever again if it ends up being a success. It'll get memory hold faster than anything.
Okay, never mind. Okay, they've always been like this. Okay, at least they're consistent, chat. At least they're consistent. I did not know they were the person that was promoting this. I completely forgot.
They were the person?
A blurry mess to me.
As well, and of course they are citing someone who is a member of the Japanese...
That's kind of the intention. This is somebody who apparently, according to fans of her that have been messaging me this video to cover, this is someone who they've watched in real time get radicalized. And you can kind of tell she's not all with it with these arguments, right? Like, she agrees with it because she agrees with it, if that makes sense. And the chat is cheering it along, right? If the chat was pushing against the things being said in this video and was having a negative reaction to it, she would immediately fold to what her chat wants. Her chat requests this content. Her chat is part of this community. She's probably an orbiter of these figures and has a lot of shared audience. And so she is just folding to audience capture. It's a big part of what causes content creators to get radicalized like this. And people have watched it in real time.
Communist Party who doesn't believe in empirical evidence to support claims about Japanese history, which is absolutely insane. But these are the real concerns. This is what people are talking about when they're focusing on Erika Ishii. So you can see her tweets, very political, very divisive, and the type of stuff people don't want.
I love this implication that the voice actor for a character could have any impact whatsoever on, like, the game's content, right? Like, the political beliefs of the voice actor are such a big problem. You have to remember, these people, the ones who complain and bitch about cancel culture, getting people fired, are literally building a movement, and this is us watching it in real time, centered around demonizing workers in the entertainment industry that have politics they don't like. They want this person fired. That is why they have concerns over the political posts. That is why they are making videos. They want harassment. They want her to either quit or to get fired. That is the goal. Where does the term chud come from? It used to mean like cave, underground dweller, something like that. It comes from a movie. But now it's just sort of a Gen Z term for, like, people who have right-leaning politics and are cringe about it and don't really understand anything. Ironically, chud being a Gen Z term is kind of like the polar end of the weird, like, right-wing swing among Gen Z.
Want to see a whole lot of virtue signaling, her saying various political things, even promoting the American
How
Democratic
dare she
Party
disagree with you?
Sharing a tweet and signal boosting a tweet that is encouraging people.
I am privileged to go running and generally live my life without fear for my safety due to the color of my skin. It's a right to everyone deserves. Demand justice who live oppressed.
Okay. I'm just, like, wondering what faces are being made by the real person on the other side of the avatar.
Can I just say that, like, it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is when you're a woman, and sometimes there just is an inherent risk of you running at night.
Okay, so the reason why, because maybe she ends up seeing this, and, I mean, maybe she'll watch it on stream, that would be funny. Maybe she ends up seeing this, and I want there to be a real argument, you know? So, obviously in a situation where you're walking at night alone, realistically, you're actually statistically not in a crazy amount of danger, even as a woman. It's still one of those situations like swimming in like murky seawater where it's like, yeah, I know I'm more likely to get like X'd off the census by like a vending machine or lightning striking me, but I'm really not comfortable here, and I feel like a shark is going to bite me in half. Like, that's most people in deep, murky, dark water. Even though they know the statistics, they're still worried. Even in deep, clear water, they're still worried about that, right? And so, like, walking at night for women, kind of a fear like that. Or flying on planes if you're afraid of heights. That's more relatable for me, because I'm not afraid of the ocean. But heights, being on a plane, I'm sweating the whole time. I'm literally sweating bullets anytime I'm on a plane. I'm terrified. I look out the window still, because I can't not look out the window, but I'm still scared as fuck. Even though I know there's like a nothing chance of the plane crashing and me getting hurt or dying, right? And so with that in mind, the real issue, the fear that people of color, women of color, I should clarify, have that is sort of separate from this isn't really so much the fear of something happening, but more so the fear of something being done about it. There has been a long-term trend of even children who are black or brown going missing, being abducted, dying, and not being found or accounted for, and the police and just general response to the missing child or missing woman have been really lackluster in comparison to, like, well, there's literally a phrase for it. It's not even just a woke term. It's just an internet phrase for it, missing white woman syndrome, right? When a white woman goes missing, there's a good chance it ends up becoming a whole news story for at least a day, right? And this is famously not the case even if a black child goes missing, right? And that is why there is sort of a perception of disproportionate response or care or prevention of women of color when it comes to their safety. So yeah, I don't think you're necessarily safer walking at night as a white woman than as a woman of color, but there are those factors as well. And then if you want to account for like statistical factors too, if you're a woman of color walking at night in a city, then statistically speaking, you're probably walking in a lower income neighborhood, and lower income neighborhoods typically have higher crime. And if you're a white woman walking in a city, then there's a higher statistical chance that you are in a slightly, not super, but slightly higher income area, according to statistics, and thus you're less likely to have crime done to you. It could still happen, but it's less likely. And so there's also a statistical higher rate of violent crime done on women of color than white women. You can look up these statistics if you want. In fact, you know what? I don't like just saying things like this. I like showing it. Women of color, violent crime victims versus white women. That's right. We're making it a contest. The fact is, it's not a contest here or anything like that. It's just more so if there's a group of people that is especially affected by a problem, then naturally you would want to do something about that, right? Yeah, so despite being a much smaller proportion of the population, victims of violent crime who are black make up almost the same exact percentage as white. So you got to remember, white people or black people are a pretty small minority of the country. What does the meme, like 13, 14%? And despite that, the point rate, here, I'll share the screen. The point rate for total violent crime done on white and black women is almost equal. Almost neck and neck. Hispanic, almost up there too, despite being, I think, a smaller minority. And actually, this is in line with the post. 9.8 compared to the more than double if you're Asian, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander. And I'm pretty sure the voice actress is Asian, considering she voices the Japanese protagonist in the new Ghost of Tsushima sequel. So yeah, statistically, her post was completely right. If you're Asian, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander, you are statistically far less likely than if you're black or Hispanic to be assaulted, and including if you're white. So technically, she was including white women here in her post. She's Asian and saying that her race has made her safer in this context, which is statistically shown in these violent crime statistics across the board, down the line. She is safer. And white women are included in that as being in more danger. Technically, they're in the most because they are the majority. You've got to remember, the reason why white women are at the top here isn't because they get targeted the most, but they are the majority. White women make up the majority of women in the country, so it makes sense they would be such a high point amount. But then when you consider the lower percentage of Black and Hispanic women, it being so close to the same amount as white women shows that there's not a much racial discrimination in who is, targeting who here, but there is still an outcome difference that validates that post. They said nothing wrong.
Or like in the daylight or in like a bad neighborhood or something. It's not about skin color, man.
Able to vote and raise funds for Kamala.
And this is really where a lot of this radicalization comes from, because a lot of the people being pulled into it genuinely don't know that they are. And I don't know if Smug Alana does here. I don't think she does. By the looks of it, she genuinely thinks that it's like the woke people obsessing with race and gender and identity, and they're politicizing every topic, all the media, and they can't get over it. And so they believe they're like egalitarians who just care about they don't care. They just care about the content of someone's character, not the color of their skin, right? And they don't like that people are caring about it so much when it comes to casting and the writing of their stories. That is the perspective that they have. And the content creators that, trick them into believing that's anti-woke. You need to be anti-woke to fight against that narrative because it's really the left that are bigoted now. That is one of the most effective lines to radicalization to the right that there is. That is how I got there. Back then, the narrative was that the regressive left were the new right wing. They were the new bigots, the new racists. They would go on about the bigotry of low expectations and whatnot. Yeah. Hey, Evergretel, welcome.
But again, like, explaining it to these people is like they'll just throw it in your face.
Harris and all these other things. You know an activist when you see it in this.
Smug Alana, please. I would love to have an on-stream conversation with you. I don't even have to come onto your stream if you don't want to give me a platform. You can come onto my stream, so there's no platform I gain from you. We can have a conversation about this Assassin's Creed Shadows stuff. I would absolutely love to talk about the Rev says Desu, Assassin's Creed Shadows, what wokeness is and what anti-wokeness is. I would absolutely love to have that conversation. If you believe that people on the left, people who quote unquote support this, cannot defend it and are incapable of arguing, then this should be a layup for you. Should be an easy win. Should be a W on a silver platter I'm offering. No reason to reject.
Raises a lot of red flags for people when it comes to a video game, something that's supposed to be entertainment, and you have someone who is mixing their personal opinions and political opinions with their business account, and that's the result you get right here. And this screenshot's been floating around with some of her greatest hits. Let's read through it. So this first one says, also...
Mind you, these people will literally riot if someone gets fired for their right-wing political opinions they post on Twitter. The entire anti-cancel culture movement started because Roseanne Barr tweeted some racist shit and lost her TV show. And now, they're just overtly... okay, so here is why we need to basically build an entire internet harassment campaign against this voice actress. She tweeted some things we disagree with.
Can't help but notice the article focused mostly on the mechanics of our game and not which Pokemon is most effable, which we spend far more time on in that episode, but fine, I guess I'll be the one to just keep us focused up on the...
Wait, are lolicons actually going to moralize about the memes about fuckable Pokemon to me? I've never liked that trend, and I've never taken part in it because I found it weird. And definitely bordering on normalizing bestiality. You guys can scream at me for that if you want to, but I do think it is. So I've never liked that trend, but that is like an internet trend. The fuckable Pokemon tier list, that's not something that you've dug up. This is from March. This is from earlier this year. This was literally a meme a year ago. Also, these are well, I don't know if this YouTuber is Lolicon. She's probably not. But Rev says Jesu is.
Is this a joke post or not? Is this a joke post or not? I'm confused. Is this supposed to be parody? Haha, I'm being sarcastic? I actually can't tell.
important question. So this is the type of stuff, a statement here that a lot of game.
Both Vosh and Shu partook in that trend, if I recall correctly. Listen, okay? That is not a good argument against that claim when you consider one of those people is Shu, who's a conservative, and the other is Vosh, who, you know.
Games journalists would cancel you for normally, but because she says it, it's stunning and brave. Here's another one saying, abolish the police. It is unconscionable to allow this racist institution that terrorizes the citizens they are sworn to protect. Abolish the police. So I know out there there's some law enforcement watching this video. Just know, according to her, you're not welcome in her spaces. And he
Dude, the like, hey, just know, this voice actor, you're not welcome in her spaces. You're like the literally speaking directly to the audience to get them to believe that this person hates them, so they have an internal moral justification to attack this person. Like there is literally a meta on YouTube right now centered around gathering people together and goading them into internet harassment campaigns against actresses, voice actors, and just any cast in a piece of media they deem woke. She sounds like Nuxtaku, but worse. She just has the pick-me voice, is what it is. Like, it's the pick-me inflection, pick-me voice, the pick-me way of speaking, you know? It's just, I recognize it, and it's very cringe to me. Not a big fan. I think we've probably seen enough of this, because we're not going to end up getting any real arguments here. By the looks of it, it's just going over her tweets being left-wing. Memology, apparently Memology 101 started this because he tweeted about this voice actress blocking him. For those that don't know, Memology 101 is one of the first YouTubers I ever got into drama with. He made a video about, God, it was years ago. It was back during the Unite the Right rally protest. After a neo-Nazi ran over and murdered Heather Heyer, he made a video backing up ER, who was pushing around the now very much established false conspiracy theory that she had just died of a heart attack. The narrative was that the Nazi was innocent, he didn't murder her, and that because she was a fat liberal, she died of a heart attack because she got scared of the car, quote-unquote, driving quickly by. Meanwhile, it's like the video, the drone footage is like barreling through a sea of people. But it killed the lady, not Revs Desu, ER, the Nazi anime review YouTuber, kind of like the grandfather of this genre that we're kind of looking at right now, ended up claiming that she died of a heart attack. Memology 101 backed this up, and he was also doing a lot of JQing back then. He was very mask off, because, like, Memology 101 is a Nazi. He ended up making a video response to me, which ended up with me getting a lot of hate, like a lot of harassment. I was like 3,000 subs back then. He had hundreds of thousands. And I ended up getting a lot of hate. And his response to me, like his one argument against my claims that he's far right, was that he's Hispanic. He's South American. Because as we all know, it is impossible for a Hispanic guy to be a Nazi. It's never, ever happened. And it's not even so common that it's a meme. Never. Not once. This was years and years ago, redo. Years and years ago. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all that we have to say about this topic. It is unfortunate to see that such a large community, such as the VTuber community, is falling into darkness like this. So sad. Too bad. With that said, though, if you enjoyed this segment and you thought what I had to say was entertaining, knowledgeable, or, entertaining, anything valuable whatsoever, consider dropping a like if you haven't already. No matter when, where, or what you drop those on, it helps the channel a lot. Comment down below to help get this video in the eyes of more people, get it more views. It helps a ton. And you can subscribe and ring the bell icon if you want YouTube to tell you when I go live or upload new videos. Otherwise, trust me, they won't do so. Famously, YouTube just won't do it. And of course, consider following joining my fan Discord, link down below in the description if you haven't already. It's totally free, and I host game events, call-in streams, watch parties, and announce all my new uploads and streams there. So even if YouTube's fucking up, at least you'll know my Discord is reliable. And finally, if you want to support me directly financially, consider doing so by donating, subscribing, gifting a sub on my website, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch to the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, whether you donated to help keep the lights on here at the Xander Hall studio, or you're just hanging out and lurking in chat, I really do appreciate it, and have a good one. How do you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out really good. Does Memology 101 know that there's Nazis in Central and South America? Yes, they do exist. Yeah. Yeah. there are a lot. You gotta remember, most things that we consider Hispanic last names are white last names. They originate from Europe. Like Cortez or Fuentes, for example, those names are European. People forget because of all the colonization in South America and all, but those are European last names. And you better believe they love that fact. They remind themselves of that every single day. That the name Fuentes is actually European. Does Memology 101 know that Argentina exists? I think he's from Argentina. I wish we could do something to get Alana out, but as some of you stated, she's far too gone at this point. I don't know if she is. Maybe she'll agree to a conversation. I've steamrolled people in conversations before, and then like 2 months later they message me like, "You changed my path." Here, let me read you guys an example. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for reading this message from a YouTuber, but I should be fine. Let me bring it up. Should be here somewhere. Could have sworn it was in my Twitter DM requests. Huh. I guess not. Maybe in my message requests? Guess not. Maybe I'm just brain farting right now on where I got this message. But, man. I'd gotten a message from a YouTuber named Poncho basically saying that our conversation, or I think it was a video I did in response to him, ended up, like, genuinely changing his politics. Like, it set him on a path of, like, a complete political transformation. And, you know, it's happened before. There was a YouTuber named Manga Kamen, I think his name was, who was doing anti-woke right-wing content. I covered one of his videos. He challenged me to a debate. I accepted. I beat him in the debate. And then, like, 2 months later, he messaged me about, like, his political transformation. Poncho. P-A-N-C-H-O, I believe. I used to watch Poncho. Damn. Yeah. Here, let me see if I bring up his channel really fast. Yeah, I think it's this channel. Oh my god. Hold on. There we go. I think it's this channel. Yeah, I watched this one. I've seen some of his content as of late. Yeah, he's like no longer doing chud content. I literally covered one of his videos back in the day, and he was doing like cringy chud content, and he changed. He grew as a person. People are savable, you know? It can happen. People are absolutely salvageable. No one is too far gone until they've decided they are. Yo, Pepper221, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you, thank you. Says, for reference, my rig in its entirety only costs $250 because I hired an artist from Poland, but I've also commissioned an animated intro, a stream starting soon screen, and a stream background / overlay. Yeah, it seems like getting into VTubing is really expensive. Thank you for the $5. And then with another $5 from Slashy, thank you so much. Said, I do think the meta is going to be soon to openly state the grift to defend themselves against irate fans who don't want them infiltrating their space with their anti-woke agenda. See that Sonic V? Or the Sonic video? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a lot of them just outright admit their grift so they can try and pull out a W in the end, you know what I mean? You're not wrong there. You're definitely not wrong there. Thank you so much for the $5. It means a lot. Really does. Thank you. Let me update the dono goal really fast to reflect you guys' generosity. Don't want to slack on updating it. Alrighty. Yo, chat, I'm curious. What's everybody drinking tonight? I'm just drinking myself a Monster Energy, trying to avoid and fight against that 4 p.m. slump. Iced tea. Heavy Griddle's having water. Red Bull for Perry Icefire. Ice water. Coffee and fluids. Monster for Blue Grills as well. Rinse is having water. Everglow is having homemade lemonade. War Penguin's having water too. Baja Blast for Werewolf Jester. Gamer Juice for Scapegoat. Dr. Pepper for Azo999. Water for Spice the Goblin. No soda for them. Republican Tears for Trans Daughter of Water. Respectable. Water for DJ Reaper Skier. Water and Coke for Straw Hat Monty. Mountain Dew for Redo. I like that. It rhymes. Or Redux. Ox Pecker having Windex, of course. Very good for you. I drink Windex every night before bed. And then I never wake up. I'm drinking Bay coconut water. Only 10 calories per bottle, and I don't drink soda anymore because of it. Yeah, I'm not really a coconut water guy unless it's like straight out of the coconut. Then I'm mostly drinking it for like the novelty of drinking out of a coconut. But like coconut flavor itself isn't my favorite. I just love the idea of coconuts. It's one of my favorite trees. Me now? What's this, Beth? Did you get your diagnosis, Beth? Beth just got the response to a bunch of autism diagnosis testing. And Beth got the autism. I definitely think I got the autism. Everyone's pretty goddamn sure, but I don't have a proper official diagnosis to stand by. I got the tism. A touch of the tism. Just a little touch of it, though. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Did you guys know that the writer of Diary of a Wimpy Kid wrote like the most important characters in the story as archetypes of autism? Where like Rowley is kind of what every single autistic person should yearn to be. He is happy. He is likable. Everyone loves him. He doesn't give a fuck what other people think of him and just strives to like make himself happy and do what he loves. And he just doesn't let anything get in his way, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks of it. Meanwhile, Greg Heffley is very ableist. He is himself autistic, but very ableist, is constantly cringed out and upset by other people with autism, even manipulative of and like shitty towards them, but can't live without them so that he can feel superior. And Fregley is like the side of autism where you're weird, I guess, and people who hate it, the cycle I had explained to me. It's a very well-established theory, okay? Very well-established theory. Gregs hate Fregleys, but they need Rowleys to survive. Fregleys like Rowleys, but Rowleys could give or take Fregleys. They don't really hate them or dislike them. They're just chill. And Rowleys are okay with and can stand Gregs, but don't need them to survive. So at the end of the day, the last thing you want to be is a Greg, and what you want to be is a Rowley. Does that make sense to you guys? Is this like a good explanation of autism? I think that's basically just like the DSM-5 right there. Kinda, I read this theory online, okay? It's very sound. You have to believe everything you read on the internet. Come on. Bunch of people leave and unsub because they think that was ableist, I bet. Now I can get government money. Let's go, Balth. What kind of tism does Roderick have? He's just cool. Roderick's just got, like, ADHD. He's just, like, hyper-focused on making music and being cool. Yo, Zan, did you ever look into that incident with the Wells Fargo lady? The Wells Fargo lady, what?
It took an Arizona Wells Fargo 4 days to conclude that there was a dead person in one of their cubicles. You heard me correctly. 4 days. Somebody clocked in to their Wells Fargo bank at which they worked at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning. Somehow she died on her desk. The rest of the workday carried out. They closed the building, came back the next day and opened the building again, and did 3 more of those before they figured out that there was a dead person in the building. I hope this woman was never clocked out and that there's like constant hourly pay. Who was the employee that found her? And in fact, like, you know, the different employees.
Who was the manager that figured out that that employee never clocked out last night, didn't clock in this morning, and is still clocked in this whole time? Didn't show up to work, but is still clocked in. And then also didn't clock out the night before. Like, how many clock-ins, clock-outs, and missed lunch clock-ins and outs, or clock-outs and ins, were missed without a manager noticing? They're usually on top of that shit, you know? Like, Jesus.
There throughout the 4 days, so there's definitely a chance that somebody
That's a haunted
had,
bank
you know,
for sure.
Their 3-day weekend or whatever. They had their days off, first day of the week that they're back on schedule. You know, they weren't there for the other 3 days. I need to imagine that the person who found the body had to have been smarter than the rest of the people in this building. What was I saying? Oh, right. I hope they didn't clock her out. That would be at least one of my demands if I were the ghost of this person. Imagine you're a ghost and you can
Yeah, I
actually
did see that War
yourself
Penguin. I meant to
outside
write
of
it
your
down.
body
Thanks for the
once you're
reminder.
dead. She was just waiting in her office. Man, I guess I'm dead now. I at least want to know what happens to my body. I want to know who finds me. I'm curious. If I'm a ghost, I'm just gonna be chilling here. And then it takes 4 days. I would be mad if it just got to closing on the first day. If more than an hour goes by after I die at work, if more than an hour goes by without somebody, I don't know, checking in like, hey, what's up? And that's depressing. But you know what's more depressing? Tons of people just walking past your cubicle for 96 hours and nobody looking in your direction, signifying to the rest of the workplace,
oh, that person is dead.
That's the kind of shit you would expect to see happen to Meg Griffin.
Like, how do you not, like, smell a corpse within a few hours, right? Like, a corpse starts to smell bad right away, you know? Like, there's not really much time before it starts to smell bad, because the first thing a body does is evacuate its bowels and bladder. So, like, there had to have been the smell of piss and shit somewhere in the building, and nobody smelled that. And then a night went by of it, like, festering, and no one noticed. And then another night went by of it festering, and no one noticed. And then a third day came, and that's when they finally found it. Banks aren't usually open on Sundays, I don't think, so maybe one of those days, like, the second day was the only one in which they really worked, and it was the third day where they actually came in, and there was a likelihood of finding it. Yeah, we're just like, something must have been a raccoon died in the drop ceiling or something. Maybe they just, like, rationalized it.
In a Family Guy bit.
Dad! What is it? What's going on? I heard a noise. Is somebody downstairs?
Oh, God,
Oh.
Meg, you startled me.
The letter issuing condolences.
I love that bit.
Just
Thoughts are with the family members of...
Just don't, Wells Fargo.
Oh, sorry. We should have known. We are totally doing everything that we can to...
How does the smell not become a physical... How does the smell not physically assault everyone in the building? How long does that Don't maggots accumulate after all? Don't... Like,
well,
what
flies
did she
have
look
to get
like
to
by
it.
the time? I have more questions than answers right
I mean, it depends on how well managed the building was, like, in terms of cleanliness, I guess. I mean, could have staved off A lot of decomposition for a while. The smell is so distinct too. Yeah, like, you know death when you smell it, right? It's like a little sweet. Like, there's that like, it's like a musky, deep, sickly sweet smell that you can't mistake if you've ever smelled it before. If you've ever smelled roadkill, you know what death smells like, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's what a dead body smells like. And you know. How do you not recognize that? Zan, if I recall correctly, flies flock to a corpse after about an hour and maggots appear 2 days later. Yeah, but flies might not have gotten to it, so wouldn't really matter. I wonder, before they bury someone, would they have to clean off any... Yeah, that's what the coroner is for. That's what, like, a mortician does. They clean up the body, they do makeup, they sew things up, they preserve and stuff. They have a whole job centered around making the body look good before the funeral. Or they just straight up bury the person, but... Usually, a mortician looks over them, deals with the body, makes it look good, so it can be presentable in a coffin for the funeral, for the wake. I kissed a dead body once. Pepper221, AO, why? I'm assuming it was like a family member that you were kissing goodbye. That would be respectable and understandable. She worked on the 3rd floor, but I'm thinking this bank had a bunch of negligent employees. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, you gotta give us context to that. Alright. Do. Alrighty. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Alright, guys. I have a confession to make. There is a platform on this godforsaken internet that I might hate more than Twitter. I know that's surprising to you. How could a platform owned by Elon that, like, openly punishes you for being progressive while also giving preferential treatment to literal Nazi accounts praising Hitler, what platform could be worse than that? Well, I am going to introduce you to a platform called Kick. K-I-C-K, not K-I-K, like that one app that pedophiles used to use to, like, groom children back in the day. We're talking Kick, the streaming service. Now, Kick is known for a variety of things, most of them all being brain rot. One of the biggest popularity draws of Kick is that it was started by a group of gambling streamers, Trainwrecks, XQC, etc., and is also backed by Drake, which back when that site opened was like a massive endorsement, much less so now. But backed by Drake. And so was, of course, the gambling site that also funded its creation. These were all gambling streamers who were worried about Twitch's continuous pressure to stop gambling streams. People were not happy about it, Twitch was starting to get unhappy about it, and they wanted somewhere where they could stream their gambling. So they started their own separate platform. And since it was founded on the idea of lacking rules that Twitch had, they decided to lean heavily into the no moderation, no rules vibe of the platform to make it a free speech platform. Like any other free speech platform, it very quickly devolves into gambling streams, drug streams, streams of YouTubers and streamers showing porn because it's allowed on the platform to an audience of minors. This has been a very big problem on Kick over the years. And notably, public nuisance content. I have talked about it in the past, how there has been a rash of content creators that have gotten huge off of Kick, prioritizing content centered around ruining other people's days, going out in public, and just fucking with them. In fact, the content creator I'm about to discuss right now is one of these figures. He has done a lot of public nuisance content. In fact, just today I saw a clip of him. If anyone wants to send it my way, by the way, so I can show it, that would be really helpful. But I'm going to describe it to you since I'm not even going to bother to try to find it on Google these days, which is now unusable and you can't find anything. What he used to do was, well, this is at least one video he did. He would, like, walk around in a grocery store or a mall, and he would walk like this with his, like, arms out, like some kind of cartoon, like, tough guy, and he would purposefully shoulder check people, and, like, the people he's shoulder checking don't know, but this guy, Jack Doherty, who we're about to get into, had a big, like, 6.5 foot tall bodyguard that he would have come with him. And so if anybody dared to stand up to him after he, you know, basically assaulted them for, like, in a sly way for a video, all of a sudden his bodyguard would pull up and say, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" And they'd have to shy away and walk away. Basically, like, fucking with people, getting them to stand up for themselves, and then having a guy who no one could beat in a fight challenge them if they dare to stand up to themselves. It's less of a prank and more like harassment. And this content has made him so wealthy that he owns a mansion. He has, like, a compound, I should say, like an Andrew Tate level compound where he has, like, an OnlyFans logo emblazoned on the wall. All of his, like, link sites linked to his and his girlfriend's OnlyFans. So there's a case to be made that he's pimping out his girlfriend's OnlyFans. He's, like, a massive grifter, a massive, like, just piece of shit who is making a lot of money. He has a lot of expensive, hundreds of thousands of dollars each cars, and what got him into the news is that one of those cars, a brand new McLaren, ended up in an accident, and said accident was fully streamed. So let's take a look at this story from Sportskeeda. Jack Doherty's Kick channel was taken down after he crashed his McLaren using his phone and driving. Kick streamer Jack Doherty crashed his car during a recent live stream after being distracted by his phone while driving in the rain. He lost control of his McLaren and eventually collided with the roadside railing in an accident. Following this crash, the content creator's Kick channel has been taken down and is currently inaccessible. Kick had to draw the line, I guess. You can be a Nazi, you can gamble, you can do all these things, but you commit a crime on their platform, that's going to give them too much heat. They don't want it. Trying to open it immediately leads to a 404 error. The streamer had over 185,000 followers on Kick before the channel was taken down. And of course, we have the drama alert tweet showing the video, and I'm going to show as much of it as I can, but at a certain point, he shows his friend, who's the one recording in this clip, and his friend's face is just covered in blood. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to show it. Like, I'm certain I'm not allowed to show the results of the crash, because his friend is just bleeding, bro. Now, I want you to pay real close attention to the big flashing number on the odometer when when the camera turns, the speed limit, or the speed that he's driving, because he is driving very fast, and I should note, faster than he claims to when defending himself after this event. He has outright lied. So here you can see him texting while driving on the interstate in Florida in the rain at 71 miles an hour. 71 miles an hour in the rain on the interstate on his phone. Watch as he hydroplanes and absolutely has no time to respond. He is lucky to survive this crash. No! So that is where the crash happens. And the video cuts out here. How much more of this can I show? I don't want to accidentally end up showing the bit where we see his friend's fucked up face. Okay, no, he doesn't show it at all in this video. Okay. This clip from Keemstar doesn't show the friend and his fucked up face at all, so We don't have to worry about YouTube axing me.
Oh, fuck. No, watch out, watch out. Oh. Oh, fuck, open the door, open your door. We're locked in here. Holy shit.
The, Jack Doherty, the streamer, the douchebag streamer who was driving, barely got hurt. His passenger who was recording, it, like, face just covered in blood. Like, the forehead is all, like, busted open and blood coming down. The driver, though, who caused this, the douchebag streamer, didn't have a scratch on him, pretty much. Unscathed. This is, like, should have been a fatal accident. All factors take into account, the speed, the situation, should have been a fatal accident. That was a very well-constructed, bouncy barrier, I think they're called, on the side of the road. They're meant to bounce cars away. That car collapsed in on that barrier at a ridiculous speed. Like, the douchebag survives, always. I hate to say it, but the douchebag always survives the car crash. Usually because he's drunk, and being drunk, while it makes it more likely for you to get into a crash, it makes it a little more likely to survive a crash, because I guess being all loose and relaxed, as drunk people are, makes you less likely to get hurt in an accident, which makes it so the drunk driver is the least likely one to get hurt when the accident happens. It's the non-drunk, sober driving, law-abiding people that get caught in the accident that are more likely to be hurt badly.
Holy shit. Where's your phone? Oh, I just broke that shit. Me too. Help!
I wish the video, like, unfortunately I can't show it because you also see his friends, like his friend's face is, like, gushing with blood, and meanwhile this dude is, like, actively just crying over his McLaren. He's crying over his car, and his friend is there covered in blood. After about, like, a minute of crying over his car, he finally asks his friend if he's okay. Why is his shirt off? I think he took it off because he's, like, upset and having a meltdown. This is far from the only time he's crashed a vehicle, too. A lot of his content is centered around outrage, whether it be his public nuisance stuff, or, like, other vehicle crashes he's done in the past. Let me see if I can find some other videos. Oh, if you're curious of what his response to crashing his car was, here's his next stream he did on TikTok afterwards, since he got banned from Kick.
Everyone, double tap the screen. We're almost at 1 million likes, guys. Let's see how fast we can hit it. James Ellis, thank you for the galaxy, bro. I just followed you back.
Of course, sponsored by Stake, the gambling website that runs Kick.
Guys, let's see how fast we can hit my galaxy goal. I'm going to follow everyone back once we hit it. Appreciate y'all. Cole with the galaxy. Thank you, Cole. I appreciate it.
He's doing follow for follow.
Thank you, Aiden, for following Live Creator. How'd you crash?
I genuinely think there's, like, you have to be a bad person to get the Zoomer carrot, like, broccoli top haircut, you know? Like, I've genuinely, like, the instant I see someone with this haircut, I instantly hate them. Like, I could watch them fall into a pit of acid, and I would not have a single shred of remorse for the death of a fellow human being in that situation. Like, I genuinely think that broccoli Zoomer haircut is, like, made by and for just the worst people of Gen Z. Like the serial killers and the scammers and the rapists and the murderers of the future. We're going to look back at, like, their old photos from they were in their 20s and their teens. They're all going to have this haircut. I hate it so much. It is brain rot. This haircut is like the physical representation of brain rot. The mold of the rotting brain has grown out of the hair follicles and turned into, like, a forest on the top of the head.
Crash your car. I hydroplaned. I literally hydroplaned. I'm in a McLaren in the pouring rain. What do you expect? You guys have never drove a McLaren. Everyone, double tap.
So yeah, he's now online begging for donations so he can get a new McLaren. He goes and he hugs his friend and I think girlfriend or sister or whatever after the car accident. Meanwhile, his friend, who is, like, all fucked up with a busted face, is the one recording right now. He doesn't give a fuck about him. Oh, and here's a look at that at that nuisance content he became famous for. Here's how he made the money to afford that McLaren in the first place, in case any of you had the slightest amount of feeling bad.
Go.
Yeah, he's doing it to women too, of course.
What?
Yep, and then his bodyguard comes along.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, he's just... This is the type of content that is big on Kick right now. And it's why there's such a large audience of young men, primarily, that are so absorbed by the concept of, like, fucking with people and disregarding their, like, autonomy or their feelings, is because this is what they find funny. This is the content they watch when they're not watching right-wing political content. Because the spirit of rudeness and meanness is what drives them and what they find respectable and funny. And it's, you know, almost a virtue signal for a lot of these, like, young Gen Zers on this platform. And so they flock to people like this. Hell, they give their own, you know, allowances to people like this, enough that they're able to afford a McLaren with 185,000 followers, right? That's a small amount of followers to be able to have so much, like, wealth as this guy has. He might also be a Nepo baby, too. He probably is. So yeah, if you haven't seen, by the way, I think it was, D'Angelo made a really good video. And I'm not going to just, like, watch the video. I want to show some clips from it, because D'Angelo brings up some really good, screenshots and video clips that I want to show. Since I'm not going to be able to find them anywhere else. Google sucks now. It's a nightmare. Yeah, that's the crash. The crash. That's him after the crash. Here's him crashing another vehicle, because this is what he is known to do.
That was my thought when I read this. So here he is in March, crashing his off-road vehicle. 30 seconds after getting it, he says, #Jack30. When you look at this clip, it's a miracle he didn't somehow break his neck at this point. And then it says, in November, Doherty faced similarly heavy criticism for crashing a golf cart he was driving with his girlfriend in it, flipping the cart in her direction. I literally thought I just broke your neck. I tried to hold it, Doherty says in the video. Golf cart's fine, though. I say this with absolutely no hyperbole. This man is, like, actually a menace to society. And just...
He really is. And if you're wondering, like, what I meant when I said he's got, like, a compound and ridiculous amounts of money, let me fast forward a bit and show you what I'm talking about. Let me just fast forward a bit and show you what I am referring to. Here we go.
Oh, thank God. That means I can kill you myself. Also, remember that lesson he learned in his
How does he even have a GF? Is she okay? She was the one with the Playboy bunny emblazoned on the butt part of her jeans in that video we watched of him bumping into people. He like, in the link to his post on YouTube of the crash, in the description is a link to his girlfriend's OnlyFans, which he is definitely pimping out. And, he's, like, begging for people to sub to his girlfriend's OnlyFans so he can make back the money to replace his crashed car.
Apparently. Well, here it is.
He's also got an OnlyFans.
No more driving cars like this in the rain. No more, I don't even know, bro.
No more, I don't know. You're really gonna sit there and blame the rain? What about the, I don't know, texting while driving?
Like, I wasn't even going fast. That's the crazy part. It's just like, just can't drive those cars in the rain.
It's the McLaren's fault. It's the rain's fault. It's everyone on social media being mean to me. I can't stress this enough. This is the empty stare of somebody who actually almost...
Why is she okay with paying for his car? God knows. God knows. Like, at this point, we've become very familiar with, like, the fact that there are legit... Squad W time, chat, top G time. There are some women out there that are legitimately content with being, like, a broodmare slave for a man in their life. I don't know why. I don't know how anyone could choose to live that way. And I don't know why there's a large proportion, though a shrinking, but still large proportion of even young women who opt for this lifestyle of just being owned by and controlled by a man effectively. But it is a thing. It is very much a thing. I don't understand it, but it's a thing.
Almost killed somebody and does not care at all. Like, just does not care at all.
Yo, Michael! I'm about to go live.
Yeah, that was him tracking his cameraman down again and making a joke that he needs him to hold the camera once more.
He said, all right, 1 sec. I'm kidding.
I am actually unironically running out of commentary. Like, what is there to say about somebody like this? Also, if you want another indicator of why he's like this, listen to how he talks about his band.
You got banned.
Why?
It's suspended. I'm fine.
So how are you gonna do your politics?
I will. I'll get on banned. Don't worry. It's fine.
I'll get unbanned. Don't worry, it's fine. There's never actually been consequence.
Look at this compound. This is his compound, by the way. Like, one room of it. You can't even see, like, the giant windows. Holy shit. Look at this place. This is just one room of his compound, and this is his girlfriend here. This is what being a nuisance gambling streamer on Kick can buy you. This is the life that selling away every last shred of your morals and becoming a nuisance, bad influence content peddler on children can buy you. It's how the Paul brothers got big.
Consequences for my actions at any point within my life ever. I live in a mansion with OnlyFans plastered on the wall. This is insane, actually. Why is OnlyFans plastered on your wall? You know, people like to say, bro, what happened to society? But I'm gonna be real with you. When I look at images like this, I kind of get it. I kind of understand.
I'm gonna be real, guys. I'm gonna hit you guys with a fucking spicy hot take, all right? But I base this off of my interactions and friendships with, like, femmes in the sex work sphere that work on OnlyFans. Dude, young guys that get into OnlyFans seem to be, a lot of the time, not always, can't speak to everybody, but a lot of the time, pretty awful. There's, like, the really weird trend of, like, just massive fuckboy dudes starting OnlyFans accounts and, like, growing a platform elsewhere, getting big on OnlyFans, or, like, botting an OnlyFans account, and then finding OnlyFans girls and convincing them to collab, quote unquote. And when your job is sex work, you know what collab means, right? That's like a massive trend in the realm of, like, male OnlyFans people. Like, that, there's a lot of dudes like that female OnlyFans, like, creators have to know how to clock and avoid, you know? It's a big thing, apparently.
Understand why people say we're cooked. The amount of other things that are happening in the world right now, and unfortunately the surest way to get media attention is to clash your McLaren while promoting your OnlyFans, all from the comfort of your enormous mansion. The internet, anyway,
might have
friends,
been the internet might have been a mistake. Thank you for the bless you, by the way, chat. The internet might have been a mistake. It genuinely might have been a mistake. We are witnessing late-stage internet right now. That is what this is. All I can say is I'm glad that he's banned from Kick, but believe it or not, TikTok and YouTube have kept him up. In fact, the video of he has uploaded the video of him crashing, committing a crime by speeding and texting and driving, crashing, showing his friend covered in blood against YouTube's TOS, by the way. And that video has millions of views now. He is making tons of money off of it. YouTube does not care. YouTube is arguably less moderated now than Twitter. It's gotten really crazy these days. Anyway, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like, no matter when, where, or what you're watching from. It really does help a lot. Every single thumbs up helps the channel, pushes it out to new people. You can comment down below as well if you want to support the channel too. It really does help a lot, and it's totally free. And on top of that, you guys can subscribe, ring the bell icon, or turn on all notifications, I should say, so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload, because they certainly won't do it if you don't. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias, linked down below in the description. And don't forget to join my fan Discord. It is the main hub of my community and fan base, totally free to join. And I host game events, call-in streams, watch parties, and announce all my new uploads and streams there as well. So if you aren't already part of the Discord, please join. You're missing out. Finally, if you want to support me directly, help keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, consider directly supporting me by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon, or buying merch, the Streamlabs link down below. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Alrighty. Kick permaban Destiny. That's true. Yeah, you're not allowed to be like left-leaning on any of those platforms. Like any like free speech absolutist platform will ban you for being too progressive. Ironically. To them, free speech just means saying slurs and there being no consequences. Like no one's allowed to criticize or speak against it because that would be censorship. But banning certain types of speech is not censorship in their view because that speech in question that they want banned is left-wing speech. It's against what they believe. Alrighty. Yo, chat. Before we move on to the next segment, I'm actually curious. Well, I actually do need to use the restroom before I do the next segment, but before I do that, I'm curious. Where is everybody watching from today? If you feel comfortable saying. Like, geographically. I'm just, you know, I like knowing where my viewers are from. Some Californians. New England. Nice. The DMV. Tampa. Ooh. That's not good. Get out of there, scapegoat. Wisconsin. Idaho. Georgia. Alberta. Saskatchewan. Central Florida. Oh my god, I can't stop burping from all that monster. Oh, Jesus. Central Valley, California. East Coast, Canada. Dallas, unfortunately. Connecticut. California girl turns Seattleite. Atlanta. Hell yeah. Zan, we all say it was Wisconsin, not Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin, and you're gonna get over it, Nate Crown King. You're gonna accept it. There's nothing you can do to make it not be Wisconsin. It just is, okay? Accept it. Own it. Love it. Hug it and embrace it. Nuh-uh. Nate Crown King's just like, nuh-uh. Anyway, guys. Really quickly, I'm going to use the restroom. I'm not ending stream. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to use the bathroom, and I will be right back. BRB. Stay tuned. I apologize for the prolonged absence. I wanted to give my puppy a little bit of attention, because she is just being so sweet today. She's sweet every day, but God, is she being adorable today. I'm going to show the stream another picture. If any of you want to know how she sleeps, here is a photo of her sleeping on my mom's bed. This is how she sleeps. If she doesn't have a pillow to lay her head on, then she'll sleep like this. I wasn't joking when I said she sleeps on her back, and she likes to lay her head down on a pillow, and sleep like a person. She also puts her little paws up, and she likes to be tucked in and to have those little paws above the blanket. She's just waiting to be tucked in. That's what she's doing there. Just waiting to be tucked in. Oh yeah, she thinks she's a person. She does not like children. Like, really hates children and barks at them because she doesn't know what they are. She thinks that, like, baby people look like her. And so when she sees kids, she gets mad. Like, what are those deformed humans doing over there? Like, are they defective dogs or something? She doesn't get that she's a dog and that she's not growing up into a person. So she hates children because they don't mesh with her worldview of what she is and what she is becoming. She's so cute. Let me see if we can find another good photo of her. Oh yeah, here's her tucked in. Here's her tucked in just a few moments later. See, she loves being tucked in. It's what she wants. It's cold now here. She wants to be warm. She's a little baby. She's just got a very thin, soft coat. It's very silky. Doesn't hold a lot of heat. As you can see, I have to give her attention between segments, or I'm evil, and I should burn in hell, because that dog deserves all the attention in the world. That dog is so adorable. Yeah, she's the best. I love her. She's the best. My dog loves anyone she can count on for friendly pets. Yep, that's my dog. She requires a toll to be paid. If someone comes over to my house, she will scream and bark at them, and will be very mad at them until they give her attention and pet her. That is the toll for being anywhere near her. You have to give her attention, you have to show her that you love her, and that you're going to pet her, and then you are approved of. That's how it works. Fun fact, dogs' pack mentality goes so far that they believe they are whatever creature they're raised with. So a dog raised alongside humans thinks it's a human, and a dog raised around cheetahs thinks it's a cheetah. Dude, dogs are so dumb, but so fucking awesome. No, dogs are smart. My dog in particular, for such a small dog, is very smart. Like, you can just talk to her and you know, based on the look in her eyes, that she understands what you're saying. Like, when I say I love you to her, she gets that. She gets so excited when she hears those words, like, so happy. You can tell because her tail wags like crazy when she's happy. She can't really hide it too well. Anyway, Pepper T21, thank you so much for the $5 dues. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Said, I should probably clarify, yeah, the dead body was my mom that I kissed goodbye. I was just being out of pocket. My life in chat. Sorry. Lamau also here. It's all good. It's all good. I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm very, very sorry for your loss. And, yeah, I apologize people in chat were jumping to conclusions. It's just the comment itself without context would leave you kind of confused for a sec, but I figured it out. I was like, okay, probably kissing a loved one goodbye. Not something weird, you know? Every Drake song that didn't age well. Okay.
We about to get lit. Fill the room up with
why would you send me this? Why do you want to get me copyrighted? Pepper T21, no. No, please, please. I want to have a YouTube channel, please. Please let me have a YouTube channel. Please don't get me banned. Please. I like having YouTube. I like making videos and not being banned from the site. I hope I responded to that quick enough, because I forgot for a few seconds. Unfortunate. I'm sorry that you sent a copyrighted video, but there's literally nothing I can do about that. The channel could get struck down for playing copyrighted music from especially as big an artist as Drake. God damn it, I forgot I'm bad at this. I love how dogs basically exist to help the world. Yeah, they're just perfect. They're just perfect, dude. Dogs are just amazing. They're just the best. Here's the best chess game I've ever seen. Nah. Nah, I'm not a chess guy, Wild Rose. I'm okay. I'm alright. Trust me, it's funny. I'm okay. I'm okay. UK unveils cutting-edge laser weapon that can blast drones out of the sky. This already existed, I thought. Didn't we already have? No, we already had these. These aren't new. Unless I've just known about these in development and I thought they were already, like, out there. These have been a thing. Is this about the lasers, or is this a different story? Yeah, no, this has been a thing, I thought. This is from The Independent. The UK military demonstrated a cutting-edge new high-power laser weapon, which it claims can blast drones out of the sky with ultra-high precision. Yeah, that's been a thing. Yeah, they just would fire a infrared laser that could heat up the battery and it burned. Like, we've been knocking drones out of the sky like bugs for a while. We've actually had these specifically for targeting and evaporating bugs out of the sky. This has been a thing. Yeah, this is from January? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this has been a thing for years. We've used it for pest control. We've used it to take down drones in military application. I guess it's just that Britain now has them. But yeah, that's been tech that we've had for years now. Yeah, we've had like laser drone guidance stuff, like where you can take down drones with a laser. ERB have given blanket reaction permission, so there's that at least. We love epic rap battles of history. Guys, always remember the classic. No ERB, politically speaking, will ever beat this classic. This will always be the best political epic rap battle of history. 2012, baby.
I'm not gonna let this battle be dictated by facts. I'm rich. I've got fat stacks and super PACs. We all know what went down in that 2008 election. You're a decent politician with a winning complexion. You're all Barack and no blank.
Even in 2012, in the parody of Mitt Romney, he's doing the narrative of, like, basically the DEI president talking point that the right is going to adopt day one and already is adopting about Kamala Harris. You guys realize if Kamala Harris wins, we're going to have another non-white president, and that means another 4 years minimum of Trump supporters, like, building little, like lynching, like, things. Like, do you remember when they would, like, march outside the Capitol with, like, little mini rag dolls of Obama that they had lynched? If you remember that, like, they wanted to lynch Obama and they would, like, represent it in their protest stuff. Like, it's easy to say the Trump years is when the craziness started, but that was very much a crazy fucking time. Yeah, the effigies. Oh, yeah, that takes me back. Yeah, I have, like, a memory burned into my mind from when I was, like, 12 or, like, 11 maybe, of Trump supporters. Not Trump supporters, my bad. Like, I guess they'd be Romney supporters, just conservatives in general, marching outside the White House, and they had, like, an effigy of Obama that they had, like, hung from a little wooden, I don't even know what you call it. Yeah, and then they started the birther conspiracy that Obama wasn't born in America.
Been no change, and we're all still hoping that you'll shut your mouth like Guantanamo Bay, they're both open. You're from the Windy City where you're looking pretty with your blowhards, but come January you'll be left evicted and with no job. Raw rhymes stronger than my jawline when I spit a phrase, knocking you harder than front doors in my old mission days. You see this silver spoon, this the mass out
I like the reflection.
Took you 4 years to drop unemployment down below 8%.
Cool detail.
You feel that, Barry? You're old news. Everyone's having doubts, and your rhymes are as weak as this economy that you've done nothing about. Call me a vicious.
Ain't nothing changed. Republicans still claiming they're good for the economy because businesses raise prices when a Dem takes power to promote that idea.
Businessman, cause Romney's stealing this race. I'll go bank capital on your donkey ass, restructure your face.
Well, they say your father was a great man.
I remember them doing the DEI shit, but not the effigy. The fuck? Are you guys surprised by this? Do you guys not remember this? I'll Google it and see if I'm mistaken. Protesters, Obama, effigy. Well, there's apparently been a lot of burning of Obama effigies over the years. Jesus. Protesters beat an effigy of U.S. President Obama. Obama effigy burnt by St. Andrews conservative students. Effigy of Obama stock photos. Barack Obama effigy hanged in Georgia. Okay, maybe it was Georgia, this one that I'm thinking of. Oh, and the Secret Service investigated it. When did this happen? More than 14 years ago, apparently. So I'm really pulling back here. The U.S. Secret Service is investigating an apparent effigy of Barack Obama hung from a storefront in Georgia. Local television news showed what appeared to be a black doll at the end of a noose on the main road in Plains, home of Jimmy Carter, the former Democratic president, Georgia governor, and Nobel Peace Prize winner. Witnesses said the doll bore a sign with Obama's name. The effigy was quickly removed by the fire department after it was discovered on Saturday. The election of Obama, the first African-American president, has increased U.S. racists and has incensed U.S. racists, and his policies have provoked angry conservatives to compare him to Hitler and Stalin. Nothing changed. But the number of threats to his life so far has been roughly similar to those against Bill Clinton and George Bush at a similar point in their presidencies. The U.S. Secret Service director told a House of Representatives committee last month. So at least there weren't any really serious threats on him. But, man, it's not just the start of the Trump era that, caused this wave of craziness, you know? Anyway, with that said, let's get to the next topic in the stream, my lovely chatterinos. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. Let me get this one open. All right, everybody. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, everybody. So you know how lately I've been talking about how it feels like the anti-woke media grift, particularly in the realm of gaming, is kind of falling apart? I've always said it's like a candle burning at both ends. It burns real bright and real hot. And that means to say, comparatively to YouTube, it means they blow up really big, they get a lot of views and make a lot of money, but it lasts half as long. Very quickly, these people fall off the face of the earth, no one cares about them because it's such a, intangible and vibes-based community and movement of politics online that you can never predict what the next big talking point is going to be and how that's going to positively or negatively affect your channel if you're in that sphere. And it feels like lately, especially with the amount of reliance on reporting on rumors and just made-up talking points that are meant to sound like a win for 5 seconds, a lot of the fans of these right-wing grift content creators have actually been dipping their toes in left-wing content. I know from my own comment sections and private DMs that lately I've been getting a fair amount of conservative content viewers watching my videos lately. They've been getting into my videos and they've been at least giving my arguments a chance, and some of them have even stuck around and continued to watch my videos. And a lot of it stems from the fact that right-wing YouTubers right now are overtly using their fans. Explicitly, overtly, openly using their fans for money and content, and bragging that they're just grifting and trying to make money whenever they get any pushback because they can't defend their ideas. And people are recognizing this, they're feeling used and disrespected, and the fact that they're both conservative doesn't matter if they feel like their conservatism is being weaponized in a dishonest way. And so we started to see, across the board, big content creators that aren't even political getting into dunking on the right-wing grift, dipping their toes into it. And it's, in my opinion, a very good omen. We've gone over the Act Man dunking on Andypants. We've covered Act Man's further videos talking about how there's cringe right-wingers claiming every new game is woke. And now we're going to be going over a video by a large YouTuber named Diesel Patches, who at one point was a conservative and ended up falling out of the right-wing radicalization hole. He made a whole video about it. It's very good. And nowadays makes, you know, politically neutral content, like not really into politics, but also calls out drama. YouTube is allowing these videos. Hassan is actually right. The One Piece is real. I guess this is Hassan being right about One Piece, because Hassan's a big One Piece fan. Sensitive Society is cringe. This is like a Leafy clone YouTuber that makes anti-woke content. A lot of it is just general YouTube community content, right? But recently, he made a couple videos calling out Andy Pants, and also a video calling out a Cheeto, who's another like right-wing chud grift channel. But he's more into like the realm of YouTube drama and adding a right-wing bent to any like drama happening around a content creator. And so Diesel Patches put out a video that people have been requesting of me about Andypantsgaming, and I figure we ought to watch it, because what better of an example of big content creators getting annoyed by this anti-woke grift and calling it out than this? Let's hop into it. Let's check it out. I'm just genuinely excited to finally watch this, because I've wanted to see it myself and people recommended it to me. And yeah, let's jump in. As always, this is a blind watch of the video. It's a bit short, so we should be able to watch all of it, but I highly recommend you go check out Diesel Patches. There should be a link down below. It's a good channel. Like his stuff. He's had a very positive and respectable political evolution in the last few years. Really love to see it. I have a cold, sorry if I sound different. Let me know if the video's loud, by the way.
A YouTuber named Andypantsgaming called me a cuck in a Birmingham cigarette, which isn't exactly untrue, but it still hurt my feelings nonetheless. All I really did was call him stupid and a poo-poo head, so he clapped back with this, and then followed up with another response to push this narrative that I like men. Well, Andy, you're a couple years late, because I already got exposed for being the big gay long ago, and since then I've come to terms with it. I'm mentally prepared for you.
Yeah, Diesel Patches is gay. He says Lily sings some funny, but he sucks black cock. Yeah, Diesel hangs around the block with his ain't no destroyer and he thinks he's funny. What a dummy. Yeah, now Lord Allah doesn't accept big gays like Diesel Patches.
However, at the same time, I do want to become a better person. Nay, a better man. Thankfully, Andy has uploaded a super base black-pilled video that gives steps to help boys become men. Step aside, Gurren Lagann. You've been outshined. You think Kamina is a real man's man? Well, I no longer call him Aniki. I look up in respect to the one and the only.
I don't watch anime.
Andy is the one that wears the orange shades now. So he uploaded a video called What is the Crisis of Masculinity? And I'm looking forward to it. Andy has deemed me cringe in beta, so I hope to follow in his footsteps, become a better man. Let us go ahead and...
Masculinity is when World War. Masculinity is when government mandated draft.
Watch this video so we can listen to Andy's advice on how to become a real man.
Fellas, some of you younger guys really need to hear this right now. And I know a lot of you older guys already know this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's an absolutely essential message in the absolute clown world that we live in right now.
All right, let's hear it.
Good God.
You're a man.
What a 2019 meme. Who remembers Clown World? For those that don't know, Clown World was like one of those PSYOP memes in 2019 where like half the people using it were just like Zoomers who liked the funny clown Pepe, and the other half were Nazis who were saying we live in a clown world because gay people are accepted and Jews run the world or whatever. Like that was the basis of Clown World. Like the initial posts that started the Clown World meme were about how gays and Jews run the world, and thus it is a clown world, a world run by clowns, right? And it's still used by Nazis, but I just haven't heard it in a long time. I just remember whether or not Clown World was a Nazi dog whistle was a real talking point for like a year in 2019 because normies like to use it and didn't mean Nazi dog whistling when they used it. And so any lefty who called out the Nazi dog whistle use of it was automatically assumed to be referring to non-right-wing users of it, and then they would get dogpiled. And there could be no conversation, which is exactly the outcome that when far-right people make a dog whistle and use it, it's exactly what they want to happen. They want normal people to use it, for it to get called out as a dog whistle, and for normal people to feel called out, and to dogpile the people recognizing it for what it is. That is their goal.
Yeah?
You're not a woman.
Uh-huh.
You're not gay.
All right, now you've lost me. Andy, if we're rejecting labels, why did you call me a giggling fairy? I'm a man too.
You're not trans. You're not bisexual. You're not pansexual.
I'm sorry, I can't take this shit seriously with the fucking Saving Private Ryan B-roll and inspirational music in the background while Andy tells me I'm not trans or pansexual.
You were made to conquer The Bible says you were made to rule. You were made to shit up.
All right, so
this is fundamentally what I keep telling you guys motivates so much of conservative ideology. They aren't motivated by, like, a different path to making the world better and increasing happiness for as many people as possible, like the fundamentally, like, ontologically good position to have as a human being. They're motivated by might makes right, that if you have the power and ability to unleash as much cruelty as possible on another person, and it's enough to break them or put them down, then you have won. And that you know, that might makes right. You deserve more. Are you part of a minority group that's been disadvantaged and put down? Are you disabled? Is your life harder because of it? That's what you deserve. If you can't, just might makes right. That is simply how they think. They didn't develop empathy. I genuinely wonder if one day we'll have, like, a study done that finds that conservatives I know we know they lack empathy, but I wonder if we find that they operate, like, on a lower level of brain activity. I would love if we could do, like, studies on that to find how many of the average conservative are operating on less neurons than the average progressive, right? Because sometimes it genuinely feels like you're talking to AI from 2 years ago, like before it was as advanced. Like, inhuman at times.
Men are supposed to be, what, terrorists in your eyes? I get growing a pair, but I could do that without the conquering and fucking shit up part.
When somebody needs to be brave enough to run headlong into danger and possibly get killed, do they send a woman? Do they send a ladyboy? No, they send a man. When they need someone to explore the icy north and spend 40 days at sea catching rare sea life in the most dangerous conditions imaginable, do they send somebody who is confused about their sexuality? No, they send a man.
Yes. What else can men do that others cannot? When the fridge breaks down and you need someone to fix it, you don't send in a woman, you bring in a man. When little Timmy is stuck in a well, crying for help, we don't rely on beta cucks to rescue him, we send in a man. When the Glorgatron race invades our planet and promises to destroy all life as we know it, we don't send in trans femboys with cat ears, we send in men.
Women are meant to be at home in a safe and comfortable environment so that
This is women's biological purpose. This is what they believe. You shouldn't be allowed to vote, own businesses or property, or to go to school. You should be forced into marriage as young as possible and to start making babies. This is the life of women if these people win. They cannot tolerate the ability for women to choose otherwise. It's what they based a lot of their countercultural movement off of. It is a response to women gaining autonomy and freedom. It is threatening to them. Women are getting a less narrow path to success in life, and more of those paths are not including marrying a low quality, low standard guy and settling. And that terrifies them. It makes them really scared.
Intend to the children.
Wow, Andy is so base that he time traveled back into the 1950s. I would love to hear his thoughts on race too, but I think I already know how that would go. When black people are simply minding their own business, it is an obligation from an absolute white Chad to find the nearest fire hydrant and hose those fuckers down. That's what a real man would do.
Every road
he does believe
in every
that.
country
Andy
was
Pants
built
does
by men.
believe that.
Every bridge and skyscraper was built by men.
You know that's not true. Come on. You know that's not true. My grandma worked in concrete pouring, okay? Like, a good amount of foundations and roads around Tampa were, like, done by my grandma, all right? And before that, she worked in sewer management. She was going down with a hard hat through manholes and sewers and, like, inspecting shit to make sure it's not, like, infrastructurally broken, right? This is just one woman I know in my life, may she rest in peace, that did, like, that kind of hard labor that's considered men's work. There are countless women who took part in this. It's always funny, too, because the entire, like, in manufacturing in the U.S., like, all the bullets that the men at war were using to fight were being made by women. All of those, like, fine metal parts used in the guns, the bullets, every electronic used for battle and rationing, and the crops grown that were rationed into them to be sent off for the soldiers. This was all women. Like, that's where that, like, feminist icon of, I forget what her name is. I don't know her name, but the like, flexing woman that is, like, associated with feminism comes from the logo that was associated with women taking up the world of manufacturing in the U.S. when all the men got shipped off. The fact was that necessity forced America forward in progress, and we all had to accept, oh, it's just Rosie the Riveter? Okay, cool. Someone had mentioned that earlier. The first person to mention that was NASDAQ, I think. Yeah, so like I said before, we have had points in which our societies have been forced to allow women to hold up their end, their half of like earning the keep, keeping things going. And when we have, it has not resulted in societal collapse. In fact, it followed into one of the most prosperous times for American businesses and manufacturing, which was the 1950s, after World War II. The literal time where these people harken back to is the peak of American culture and society and economy and the American dream. The decade after World War II, where we massively allowed women into the world of hard work, labor-intensive work.
Every car, every vehicle, every machine was designed by a man. This is your world.
Holy shit, get off men's dick, you fucking gay wad.
Oh, men built this and built that, and women could never.
This is what these young boys, by the way, that get into far-right incel content, this is what they want to hear as the reason why they are being robbed or things are taken from them as society gets more progressive. The idea that this is your birthright, and feminism and progressivism and DEI are taking it from you. Your privileges, your ability to get married and have babies and have a wife that does everything you ask, these are birthrights that you have that feminism and progressivism are trying to destroy and take from the white man, right? It's a much more buried, dog-whistled, and soft version of that idea, but if I were to just cut away all the sugarcoating, that is fundamentally the sentiment that these figures appeal to in young men.
Don't get me wrong, I love men, and Andy knows this too, but maybe you should have been granted the fajita insult over me based on how much you're sucking on men's dicks. I'm just saying.
If a guy ever tells you he thinks it's the woman's job to lead the household just as much as the man,
and they love their AI-generated
if a guy
images,
ever
don't
lets
they?
his wife drive, he is sus.
Dude, even Saudi Arabia allows women to drive now. Andy is so base, he not only time-traveled back to the 50s, but also somehow surpassed old-fashioned traditional Muslims. Yeah, what's next? Stoning for women who dare to show their ankles? Real based, Andy.
And the reason our culture is the complete dumpster fire...
To be fair, a good few, nations we associate with Sharia law had nothing even approximating Sharia law a few decades ago. The Islamic Revolution is why Sharia law exists in a lot of the Middle East currently. And, a lot of the people behind it, putting it into place, we backed decades ago. We supported them. I'm not getting into the history lesson there. Honestly, Dylan Burns would probably be better to do it with. I should do another collab with Dylan Burns. His history stuff is always so good. He's just really good at telling a story from what is considered old history to what is now just foreign policy. Making it all one steady story that makes sense,
fire that it is today is because masculinity is getting called toxic right now. Femininity is prized in our culture today.
Now, even though I do agree this segment showcasing masculinity unfairly...
This is the type of dude to see a guy walking around with a baby and a baby Bjorn and to be look at that fucking pussy. How dare he carry his child around? That's woman's work. What is he, fucking gay? This dude is unironically... Fellas, is it gay to be a loving father and husband to my wife? Is that gay?
Being automatically associated with toxicity. I think Andy needs to realize that dudes like him are the reason why masculinity is seen as a bad thing. When people like you say dumb shit like women are just followers who should just stay at home and make babies, it doesn't really surprise me if a lot of women are going to call you a dipshit and clap back by making fun of your masculinity. There's nothing wrong with being a manly man, wanting to work hard, get your hands dirty.
Man, why are women continuously moving further and further left, abandoning faith and religion, and why are young Gen Z men who are getting more conservative also having less sex and taking longer, if ever, to lose their virginity? Surely there must be no connection there. Surely the symptom must be a reason to do more of the root of the problem, I assure you, most of these incels, most of these people who have a problem with dating or getting a girlfriend that leads them to these positions, they already held notions and ideas that were approximate to this already, and it led to them absolutely just being rizless. You can't be an incel that has riz. It's not a thing. And so they were rizless because they don't view women as people and they can't talk to women, and their rejection leads them to digging deeper. You know, I've seen this happen with so many incels. It is like the ultimate incel cycle. And it feeds into itself, of course. The more incel you get, the worse you are at talking to women, the more rejections you're going to get, inevitably. And the deeper you're going to be pushed into the black pill.
And even rejecting feminine traits. I think people who say if you're not comfortable with wearing a dress and you're insecure about your masculinity are brain dead. And no guy should have to prove their own masculinity by doing something they don't want to do.
It's time to be a man. We need masculine men. Seek out role models. Seek out dads. Seek out men who don't drive Priuses.
I agree with that point too. Prius drivers are the most smug people on this planet.
And I want to close here by giving you just a couple other random thoughts. Number one, if you're under 18 and addicted to video games, what the heck are you doing? I'm on video games now because I'm 41, I'm married, and I have a kid, and I'm stuck in the house.
If you are under 18 and addicted to video games, what are you doing? I've never heard an adult say that kids shouldn't play video games and they should only be allowed for adults. That's crazy. I was expecting the reverse argument of if you're over 18 and you play video games, then what are you doing? You should stop. But this dude's explicitly making content for teenagers and telling them, like, I don't care if you like video games, stop doing that. Instead, you need to become a right-wing peak of masculinity. Now go spend all of your allowance on an alpha boot camp. Yeah, adulthood is when you ignore your wife and children to play video games, apparently.
Andy, not gonna lie, you're starting to sound like a beta cuck soy boy. You're gonna sit there all high and mighty on your little throne, telling 18-year-olds that if they're still playing video games and they're no better than women, while being a gamer yourself.
But I'm 41 and already married, so I already won, guys.
41 isn't 93. Get your fat, lazy ass out there and go build a bridge or something, Andy. Here's what's funny to me. Back in the day, you know, the good old days when men ruled the world and women just cooked babies and burnt steak, you would be the one considered the loser if you were 41 years old and still playing video games. Now, do I think that?
Line.
No. I'll probably be playing video games for the rest of my life because they're fun, but it's just hilarious to me that Andy tried to sneak that in.
You gotta admit, he was cooking there. Back in the good old days when women just had babies and burnt steak, goes kind of crazy. He was kind of cooking with that line. You got to admit.
Number 4, if you're single, ask that girl out.
What if I like men?
Number 6, if you're married, you probably don't need any advice from me. Keep grinding, brother.
Hey, thanks, Andy. My husband and I are very happy.
Our society is falling apart because dads quit speaking, because dads are no longer present, because dads are sitting on YouTube on their phones watching videos while their family.
Is it interesting that, like, he has to use AI generated images? Because, like, right-wing channels have always in the past at least been able to clip images or video clips out of context to back up their points and, like, just kind of string them together to create a narrative. Now, though, they don't even bother with that. They just AI generate an image of, like, quote-unquote fat woke person, lots of LGBT merch, sitting at desks, screaming while typing on keyboard, and they make that, like, their companion image for a point, you know? Or, like, they'll do the cancel pig thing where it's, like, woke fat person wearing LGBT merch, anthropomorphized pig, and they'll use that for their thumbnail. That's been, like, a big trend in this space lately, if you haven't noticed. These people love AI.
Families fall apart.
Well, what the hell? How are we going to watch your videos like this one if you're telling us it's bad to watch YouTube? You're giving us that message through a YouTube video. Do you not see the irony in that? Should I unsubscribe from your channel to achieve level 36 of manhood?
Number 7, if you don't know what to do with your life, bro, just do something. You're young. Just try something, man.
And finally, number 8, falsely copyright strike a channel because you're an insensitive pussy. That's what real men do.
He did that to Actman, by the way. He lost the debate to Actman, for those that don't know. And in response, Andypants false striked Actman. Actman won, and the strike was removed, of course. But Andypants probably won't be touched, even with such big YouTubers calling him out. But now that we're getting to the point where these right-wing grift channels, when called out, are so scared of losing money and so scared of their grift being called out, they're willing to engage in copyright abuse, one of the biggest no-no taboos on YouTube that no one is okay with. Man, they're digging their own grave here. I'm just saying, they're digging their own grave here.
All right, boys, so in closing, just remember society hates us right now, but we run society. So we don't really have to take it anymore.
That is literally 1-for-1. The enemy is both weak and powerful. Society hates us right now, but we run society is the ultimate. The enemy is both weak and strong. Holy shit. There it is, just right in your face.
Promote men, follow men, honor men, lift men up. Never turn on each other. Don't act like a woman.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Don't act like a stupid female with their petty insults. Affronting your fellow brothers is blasphemy. I would never do something like that. This segment is especially funny to me because Andy responds to comments like a petty 15-year-old girl who didn't make the cheerleading squad when he sees people
sometimes he just disables comments.
Disagree with his shit opinions. What do you guys think? Is Andy an alpha Chad or a super mega alpha Chad? Let me know in the comments.
That was a good video. I like this. I'm really happy to see that content creators like Diesel Patches are also getting on board with this. I'm telling you guys, we're entering like a repeat of what feels like, God, 2017, 2018, that kind of time, where it felt like the anti-SJW sphere, which was so unanimous that it, like, you'd be watching just some random gaming YouTuber and someone, like, they'd kill someone in a game of Fortnite, and then there'd be a clip of, like, some feminist saying, I'm so fucking triggered right now. Like, it was so culturally where the internet was at that it was everywhere. Like, the standard, the default was to be an anti-SJW conservative-leaning person, right? No matter where you fell on the political spectrum even. And as we started to see the figures that kind of promoted that culture begin to show their full asses and people started to call it out, it fell apart. And nowadays, if you're like in your 20s, then chances are you've got that like phase where you were a teenager who was a cringe chud and you watched anti-SJW content. But now it's a whole new wave of youngsters, as we'll say, since I'm a boomer. And it's a whole new line of talking points. It's the same line of talking points, really. They've just been repackaged, you know? Like forced diversity is now DEI or whatever. Or no, before it was affirmative action, which was their original like fear-mongering thing, has become DEI. Like, it's the same things over and over. They just come up with new words, and they shill it to a new audience. Right-wing gooners in a nutshell.
Very few things in history.
Well, we've watched this video. It's a good video, but it's not really related. Andypants sounds like a LiveJournal /AIM era username. That really might be. He did say he's in his 40s, so it wouldn't make sense, or it wouldn't surprise me if he was using AIM. Like, absolutely, he was using AIM back in the day. So that might be a really old OG username of his from, like, way back in the day. Back in the 90s. Back when the ozone was non-existent and the sun was brighter. And the earth was just a little cooler. Anyway, guys, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this segment. If you found what I said or my commentary entertaining, enjoyable, informative, then please consider dropping a like, subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, consider perhaps even supporting me by following my social medias linked down below, joining my free fan Discord through the link in the description. I host game events, watch parties, call-in streams, and announce all my new uploads there, by the way. And on top of that, if you really want to support me, you can go the extra mile by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below if you want to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio. But with all that said, regardless of how you supported me, even if you're just a lurker, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one. Alrighty. What'd you guys think of that segment? I feel like it came out really good. I felt like I had to wrap up pretty quick there, because God, my bladder is killing me. That entire can of Monster I chugged is catching up to me now. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a West Womb break. I got to take a West Womb break. I'm going to take a restroom break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll BRB. Stay tuned. All right. I have returned. Thank you guys for waiting and being patient for me. Unfortunately, drinking an entire... How much is this? 16 fluid ounces of Monster Energy will do that to you. Oh shit, he's back. Run! That's right, guys. You better run. You better get out. Guys. Oh my lord. I want to show you some cool stuff. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually live in a surprisingly good place for gold panning. It's not the best in the world by any means, but it's actually a surprisingly good place for it. And every once in a while, I like to look up videos of gold prospecting and gold panning in Washington State. It's just fun. You know, I always found that practice fun. I used to do it with my grandma too. Never found anything too crazy because we never really looked in the right places, just based on where we live. But check this out. Obviously won't find a lot of stuff, but regardless,
I'm about to go gold pounding.
it's cool that you can do it here. Look how pretty it is here
Not
too.
gonna tell you what creek you're in. You can do your own research.
Yeah,
So,
not a lot of
here we
people
go.
looking to
I'm
give
going
away
in.
their spots. But I know where to look for it. Up against that rock would be a good place to start. Like right under it, depending on which way the current is going. God, look how clear that water is, dude. This is a glacial ice melt, and this is what a lot of like the alpine rivers around Washington look like. I really want to like snorkel in them to gold pan, because God, look how clear it is. There's nothing living in there that could hurt you, you know? No snakes are getting in that ice water. It's not like Florida where there's gators or even bull sharks. So there's really nothing to worry about. It's crystal clear, shallow, pretty, you know, chill current it seems, based on this video. And you might find gold. And I would love to find some gold and to make myself... You guys know why I want to do this. I don't have to tell you. But if I could find enough pure gold to make myself a homemade Lord of the Rings ring, or just a simple plain gold band, that's all it needs to be, I will feel... That is on my bucket list. I will do that before I die. I've already made a forge in my own backyard before that got so hot it melted steel. And that was an accident. I didn't know that if I used a leaf blower and not a hair dryer, it would get so hot it could melt steel.
Along the river. So if you want to take a test to see if there's gold in the river or creek, check out the moss that's on the rocks in the creek.
Really? Can you find gold in the moss? That's crazy. I guess it makes sense. The moss is like a little filter. It would catch little flecks of gold.
So basically, I just shave it off the rock in a line.
I want to see how much gold he gets in the end. Collecting. It's panning. Oh, has he got any there? Looks like he's got some.
Some going deeper. Not bad. I've got a few colors right there in the center of my pan. Probably
It's
six
not a lot.
or 7 colors right there.
It would take years of me panning gold to get enough to make a ring, but once I finally did, could you imagine how like it might become a ring of power with how much work and spirit of mine would be put into it. Like the process of finding like a million different flecks of gold, melting it down, and then forging it into a ring. Which, by the way you do is you just kind of pour a band of metal, like a little like thin ingot, and then you get it's a type of basically an anvil, but it's a vertical tube, and you hammer the ring, or I guess your little like line, your little plate, your little like thin rectangle. You hammer it into a ring shape, and then you continuously hammer it around the notch that you've set it to, because you can see like what diameter do I want to hammer this ring out to. You hammer it out on that diameter, and you just continuously use progressively smaller and lighter wax to slowly kind of shape the ring into the right shape. You pull it off the top, and you polish it. And eventually, like, you can pound the metal into, because it's gonna have to form into one piece, one round ring. You have to pound it into that position, which is completely doable with like soft jewelry making metal. Which is also why they use soft metal for jewelry making. Gold and silver can be cold forged into a ring, and that's what they typically do. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat process.
So that's a good sign.
You found a little gold. I'll show you a cool video of how people make rings. Making a pure gold ring. You probably don't want to make it a pure gold because it could fall apart, but
in this
oh, this guy did it. This guy has done what I want to do. Holy shit.
video, I'll be attempting something that I've never done before, and that is making a ring out of pure 24 karat gold. In fact, 2022 has been a year of many firsts for me. In April, I finally attended the annual Jeweler's Bench workshop at Stuller, the largest jewelry manufacturer in North America, and the highlight of the trip might have been when they took me on a private tour of their metals facility. So much gold.
Wow.
Being in Louisiana, this was also my first time traveling to the South, and I'm happy to report that Southern hospitality, it's very much real. In June, I traveled to Las Vegas and attended JCK, the largest jewelry conference in America with 30,000 jewelers in attendance. I have a video on that if you want more details. In the fall, I was invited to give my first ever webinar where I spoke about my creative process using 3D printing. And last month, a first that kind of sets the stage for this entire...
I want to see making the ring. Make it.
The rings we all made were alloyed to 18 karat, which is a safe bet for daily wear, but they still had a lot of gold left over. Pure 24 karat gold. Now, normally I'm not making rings in 24 karat due to just how soft gold is in its natural state, but everyone got a ring except for Jeff, and, well, he really wanted an easy way to carry around the gold without fear of it getting lost on their trip. So here we go. My last first of the year. It's time to make a ring out of pure 24 karat gold. Now we're starting with 21.4 grams, and my goal is to keep the finished ring as close to this as possible. Now normally that doesn't matter to me much because I just refine and recycle gold that gets kind of left behind, but in this case, this is all the gold that they mined, and I want to make sure as much of it as possible gets into this ring.
Ooh, putting some borax on there.
Now I'm giving my crucible a fresh glazing, and this will help the gold sort of float around in the crucible after it melts. It won't stick to it, and it will hopefully easily pour into my ingot mold.
128th like? Hell yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.
Now before I pour the gold into the ingot,
liking
I want to
the
make
stream if you
sure
haven't
that
already.
the ingot mold itself is preheated. Now, this can either be done by putting the ingot mold in like a kiln or an oven, but in this case, I'm just using my torch to gradually heat it up over time.
Yeah, you don't want to pour molten metal into a cold mold.
Next, it's time to melt down this beautiful 24 karat.
Wow. I love watching metal melt. Oh, look at it go. Dude, no cuts. Oh, there was a cut there. Damn. God damn.
That fresh glaze is really doing a good job as the gold glides around the crucible.
I think the glaze he was adding wasn't... I don't think it was borax. I think it was pottery glaze. I think he added pottery glaze that would get fired by the heat and create, like, if you've ever done pottery and glazed it, where you, like, make a pinch pot and then you cover it in powder and then you kiln it to add, like, a nice, sleek, kind of glassy finish to it on the outside of the clay. I think that's what he added so that they're there'd be some slidiness to the crucible.
And here we go, pouring it into the ingot mold now.
That's a good tip. I'm glad to know about that now.
Success. But look at that little piece of gold
That's
there on
true.
the rim.
Takimi Nightcore, there is a decent amount of gold in old CPU pins. I could salvage a couple of my old like PC parts. I think I've got my old CPU sitting around back in Florida. Could have that shipped here. And when I upgrade this PC, maybe I could use the gold from this CPU. That'd be funny. Recycle.
Of the entrance to the ingot mold. You know, normally that wouldn't bother me, but in this case, I mean, we're talking about people who spent a lot of time gathering that gold. So I'll make sure to collect that and return it to gridlessness. And there it is, a beautiful round ingot that I will put into my rolling mill, which will shape it into the right length and thickness that I need, as well as the right shape. I'm going for a comfort fit shape, and this is a little bit different of a project. So normally when I'm doing the rolling, I don't care if there's a little bit of excess metal, because that just gets recycled and I use it in future projects. For this one, however, I don't want there to be any excess metal. I want to use as much of it as possible. So in that case, I'm keeping very close attention to the length of this piece of gold here. I want to make sure that I don't have to add or subtract material later on in the process. I want to get just the right measurements.
That's so cool. I would just have to use a hammer.
I use these calipers to make sure that everything is looking good with the width of my piece of gold and the length especially to get the finger size right.
Gold is hard to tarnish in a way that looks not pretty.
Once I'm happy with the piece that I've rolled out, I'm going to use this really handy tool I got from Pepe Tools, which is basically a metal bender for making rings. It's really nice when working with super thick pieces of gold like this. And full disclosure, Pepe Tools did send me this ring bender and the rolling mill last year. If you want to check out their products, I'll leave a link down in the description below.
Look at
so
that.
I continue bending the gold until I have almost a circular shape. Now, like I said previously, I am doing things a bit differently. Normally, I would overlap the gold here and then run my saw blade directly through, creating a beautiful, nice, flush seam and sort of cutting off the excess gold that's overlapping. However, in this case, I don't want there to be any excess gold, right? So I'm just bringing the ends as close as I can together. They will need to be cleaned up, but at least I won't have quite as much gold excess as I would have otherwise.
Yeah, Sean Solo, those are cool.
So the ends of this piece of gold are pretty mangled. I will need to take a saw blade and cut off the smallest little sliver here. And of course saving it, because I'll never look at gold the same way. Normally I would just kind of discard it and save it for another day. But just knowing how much work went into getting this gold is making me realize that I want to save every piece. Using some ring bending pliers, I will then go ahead and seal off the ring as flush as I can.
Please get a life, buddy.
In preparation to soldering it together. Now, another interesting challenge about doing this project is you can't actually solder 24 karat with itself or with 24 karat, because basically what will happen is the ring will want to kind of just melt before the seam closes up. So basically what I need to do is I need to add a lower karat solder. I got the highest karat I could find, which is 22 karat, and I'm really hoping that the color will be close enough that it will be pretty much indistinguishable. Now, the amount of solder I'm using is so minimal that it will be a fraction of a % of the overall mass of the ring, like so minimal. If purity is truly the most important thing and not even the slightest bit of any other lower karat, some potential workarounds would be to cast this ring in 24 karat, which I don't really do 24 karat casting ever. And then another potential solution is to do laser welding, something else that is on my bucket list and as far as tools to get.
I want to see how it turns out when it's polished and stuff. Oh, is he rounding it further? Like to the proper size?
Throwing it on the mandrel, I can see here that I am now down to the perfect size 10. So now that I'm back at my jeweler's bench, I'm into the home stretch here, and basically my goal now is to really make the ring nice and uniform, remove any tool marks, any surface scratches, basically just try to get it to look really nice while retaining as much metal as possible. I know I keep hammering that point home, but I will be weighing this ring at the end of this video just to see how good I did at retaining that metal. And you know, I really have to thank Gridlessness for this opportunity, because normally, you know, I'd be cutting off metal, it'd be falling into my bench pan, I'd be refining it, recycling it. It's almost like gold has become pretty commonplace for me, just not quite as exciting. And doing this project, it almost like somehow brings its value back to the forefront of my mind, which is pretty fun. I just love how this ring feels in my hands. Like, it just has so much weight to it.
You can use a wooden mallet.
And despite the ring being really heavy,
gold.
I'm super glad that
So
we decided
soft.
to do comfort fit on this ring, because it's going to have less surface area on the inside of the ring touching your finger. Basically, the outer edges are tapered and domed, so that when you slide the ring on your finger, it's only making contact in the middle,
we
thus
know what
not
it's meant to
feeling
look
quite
like,
as tight and heavy as a ring that's only flat on the inside.
We know what it's meant to
Hopping
look
over
like.
to the
We
polishing
know.
machine
We
now,
know.
I will use a flat lap to crisp up the
We know
sides
what it
of
looks
this ring.
exactly like.
Then I'll
We
hop
all
on
know.
over to the inside ring finger. This will polish up at the inside and that comfort fit I was just talking about to make it nice and smooth and shiny.
Oh, it's gonna look out.
And the
it's gonna
last
come out looking
challenge
so
I was
nice.
noticing with this project was I was kind of having a hard time bringing the ring to a mere finish. Something about it being pure 24 karat gold. I think it would have been possible if I kept polishing it. However, I just know, like, within a day or two or even a week of wearing this ring, it's gonna start to dull out again to that beautiful natural 24 karat look. So I wasn't too concerned about making it a mirror finish. I just wanted to brighten it up as much as I could while retaining as much of the metal as I possibly could. Overall, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It just
God
looks
damn.
and feels wonderful.
Oh, he's giving it like a...
Into the ultrasonic cleaner. I will get all of the
bath.
residue off and then steam off any of the compound. I just can't stop
see how
throwing
this
this thing
looks
around.
now.
Just love, love, love the weight.
Must be pretty heavy. I wouldn't throw it on the ground like that. It's soft.
And there we have it. One 24
Damn.
karat ring. Jeff and I happen to be the same size, so I hope he doesn't mind.
Dude, if that gets destroyed now, this dude will die. He'll never be able to take a physical form ever again or have any impact on the real world. Good God, that's so cool. I want to do that, guys. I want to do that. One day. It's on my bucket list. You know it is. It's beautiful, but it's so soft. I'd probably want to make mine with a core of, like, tungsten, you know? Give it a little extra weight so it feels heavier than it should be, because that's kind of a factor in the ring that I think would kind of make it feel a little more special and real, and it'll also give it more, like, structure, you know? Puts it on and disappears. I want to learn how to make jewelry that looks so cool. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Making jewelry is cool, and it could be a good business. Who knows? You can become a jewelsmith. You should probably make yours from galvanized steel. Yeah, that'd probably be the most sturdy. Zan, I tried to read The Hobbit, but stopped after Smaug died. Is it worth reading the rest of the series? Yes. Why'd you stop reading after Smaug died? Did you not enjoy the story up to that point? You should definitely finish it, but keep in mind that The Hobbit is a far less complex and complicated and like epic story than Lord of the Rings or the Silmarillion. It is a children's book that started that world effectively for many people. After that, you should probably read Lord of the Rings and then go back and read the Silmarillion and then reread The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings again. You'll want to. And then everything will be like, oh. And then when you really want to get to it, you can get to the Unfinished Tales. You can read Children of Hurin, Hurin. You can read... Oh, God, what else? There's a bunch of other extra material. I haven't read most of it, unfortunately. I believe recently Simon Tolkien released another collection of Tolkien's writings that were never published, but but I can't remember the name right now. I've watched some recaps and, like, reviews of some of the more recent publishings of his, like, notes, but I don't remember. Yeah, I would highly recommend that you catch up on the rest of it after. There's also a lot of pre-canon stuff that's really goofy that you can get into if you get really into Tolkien's writing. The stuff that, like, exists prior to the writing of The Hobbit is fucking insane. Like, genuinely insane once you're already a Tolkien fan. When you read it, you're like, oh, what the fuck? like Tolkien's really been working on this world for a long time. So he's got some, like, previous drafts that are like fever dreams. That's the only way I can describe it. When you find out about Cat Sauron and Cat Melkor, or Cat Morgoth, you might know him as, you're going to be like, you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away. Zen, I tried to read The Hobbit. Oh yeah, I already read that message. Catboy Sauron? No. That Sauron was a cat, and Melkor, aka Morgoth, was originally a cat in one of Tolkien's earliest writings. God damn it, my vapes are dead, chat. Regardless, though, it's probably good timing for the fact that this is about where I should wrap up stream for today. I really do... Can we watch the Shelob meme? No, we've watched it enough. I feel like here's where I'm going to wrap up stream for today. I really do appreciate you guys all coming out. This coming Friday, on the 11th of October, we're going to be watching the first 3 episodes of Season 3 of From. So if you're not already in my Discord server, then please join. I highly recommend it. We're going to be having a great time this Friday. I've got a lot of theories to discuss about the newest episodes. Frankly, I just can't wait to see a lot of you guys react to those episodes for the first time. For those that don't know, From is an amazing show. I have gotten a bunch of people here in the community super into. It is one of the best shows, period. Very underrated as well. Highly recommend you join the watch party and check it out with us. It is the kind of show that if you wait years to watch, you will hate yourself for it. You'll be like, why did I wait so long to watch this? It's that good. Anyway, with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, I hope you all have a good one. And I'll see you tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow, obviously, so I hope to see you there. Bye. Have a good one. Be safe. Bye-bye. I don't know any other ways of saying goodbye, but doo-doo fart.